Greetings, Kooplings, and welcome to Play Some Video Games. Donnie in the host chair for the first time in what feels like years. Cannot remember how long it has been. Dev called out this week. He's not coming. And then Delvin's supposed to be here at some point, and he's supposed to host. But he's having some sort of issue right now, so he's coming in late, but the show must go on. I am very thankful in this moment that I invited at least another person to come podcast with us this week. So, Haley, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me.
As the police are on their way to get you, apparently.
Sorry, I live in like a new area I'm in now. It's just sirens all the time. So.
Really? The hood?
Yeah. No, it's like I live in like the north end of town now, so like higher end housing and stuff like that. So
and then the cops are being called every day there?
Well, there's like a bunch of businesses right around me. Like right downstairs is like a Little Caesars, a bar, a convenience store, and up the street.
Oh shit, you're living over a bar?
Basically, yeah.
No wonder you're drinking. I would too. That's pretty sweet.
Not drinking today. I haven't had any alcohol since the concussion, actually. So
that's probably smart.
I tried to, and my roommate was like, "No, you're not doing that." So
yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
How long is this concussion going to put you out of commission for?
Well, that's the interesting part because
athletes get a concussion, they come back in the next quarter.
I understand that. I got the concussion on the 12th of April, and my vision is still the same as it was starting the 14th. Everything's blurry. It's a wonder that I was able to not only beat 2 video games in the time I've been off.
How are you playing like this is nuts? So you can't work, but you can video game?
I'll get to that. Don't worry.
Okay.
It's a quick explanation. I'm not going to go too deep into it, but basically it's been cleared with my physio because the attempt is to get me to use screens to reacclimate to them because my job is using screens to do inventory, right?
Uh-huh.
But I've been having this blurred vision and the double vision, and I can't read very well at all. Like if I'm reading my phone, I have to have it like this close to my face to read it. So
that's just my wife. That's just her life. That's just how it works.
And also, these are not my glasses. Just to be clear, I do have an eye exam booked for next week, but these are not my glasses. They're my roommate's old pair of glasses. They help focus my vision, but they don't help with the reading at all. So
I'm going to support you in your playing hooky as much as you can, Haley.
I understand that. Actually, would you like a funny story? So,
sure.
I'm getting paid more being off work than I am working.
You better watch that. You do that too much, and folks will start wearing red hats and trying to take over the government shit. You might storm the Capitol.
Yeah, sadly. Actually, it's weird because we do have a bunch of those weirdos around, and they're waving the Trump flags as if they don't know that we live in Canada.
Interesting.
Yeah. So,
all right.
No, but so basically the attempt by my physio is to get me to use things so that I reacclimate, because I still have extreme light sensitivity. But you ask how I'm able to do these things. Well, my roommate's boyfriend has his own vision problems, and thankfully the TV and my computer have been set to brightness settings that allow him to use it, and they work very well for me. So things are blurry.
I was going to ask if you had tried any of like these accessibility features or anything that we see in games all the time.
Yeah, I've been using them a lot. So basically that's what's been going on. I've been going to physio twice a week. I have physio tomorrow, and I have physio on Friday as well. And yeah, so I'm just like kind of going stir crazy because I have nowhere to be except in my apartment or at doctor's appointments. But in that time that I've been off and trying to work on things I've been asked to, I have beaten Days Gone from start to finish again via Days Gone Remastered. Yeah.
That's insane.
I hadn't played the game since it came out in 2019, and I platinumed it then.
And you shouldn't.
Huh?
Nothing.
No, it's okay. I bought the remastered edition, right? It was $15. I bought it. I beat it. I platinumed it again.
You and Kyle this week just talking about Days Gone. Who cares?
I love that game. I platinumed it again.
It is a game.
So I had a good time with it, and I'll probably play through New Game Plus.
I like Days Gone too. That was too long, but I liked it.
And then I also beat Spider-Man 2's New Game Plus mode for the first time. So that was good. Hadn't played that since I platinumed that one. Been playing Forza Horizon 5 still. Having a great time with that. And the other one I've been playing a lot of is Cult of the Lamb with my roommate. So we've been playing the co-op mode of that.
Love that game.
Yeah. We're trying to do the fishing quest now and getting really annoyed because the last thing we need is the crab, and it's a rare spawn. So
that'd be a good game to announce like a Switch 2 update for.
Yeah.
More lambs.
It's a little choppy on Switch 1. It probably runs at 120 frames on Switch 2.
Yeah. 10% more lambs. Quarter of the Lamb remastered for Switch 2.
Riley wants you to know that EA said Wakanda for never.
Boo, Riley.
That's
you in America, I'll deport you.
Welcome, Delvin.
Yeah, welcome. I didn't know we had Donald Trump join the podcast.
No, not actually. Terrible person.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know.
That's what I've been up to. So.
It's your show, Delvin.
It is? Oh.
It is now.
I'll go. I'll let Donnie go last. The best for last.
The least.
Nah, yours probably better than mine.
I had the same shit it was last week.
That's good enough. Mine was I went to the doctor yesterday because they was talking about my knee surgery, and they were like, hey, we're just going to give you some drugs for now until we figure what the fuck we're going to do. So what they did was they gave me a cortisone shot in my knee. And that was quite the experience. First, I was like,
should have had you out there trying to play basketball. Like, I'm 19 again.
Not gonna lie, that's what it felt like. I feel like I got a new knee, baby. This motherfucker's great. But boy, I gotta tell you, the shot going in wasn't bad, but whatever the fuck that medicine was, hurt. I get burned, and not the good burn.
Well, that's what cortisol is.
I don't know. I never had a shot like that before. And when they put the needle, like, oh, I didn't even feel the needle. Then they put the medicine, like, say, fuck. And they look like, oh. I said, I guess I wasn't supposed to say that. Well, fuck, it hurt. I don't care. And they're like, oh, you got a lot of water on your knee, too. You want us to take it out? Like, no, I'm good.
You got a lot of water in your knee. Do you want us to take it out?
You should have let him drain your knee.
Yeah, that sounds painful.
My brother has to go get his knee drained like once every 6 months or so.
Yeah, that's that noise. They looked at my knee and they're like, oh, your right knee's fine. Your left knee is fucked up, though. They're like, hey, what the fuck you been doing with this knee? You got a meniscus tear, an ACL tear, an MCL tear, and then they said some of the tearing has gone into your kneecap. So the pain you feel in your kneecap area is from the fragments of bone and ligament that's just floating around there. I'm like, that can't be good. You're like, no, it's not good. It's pretty bad. So they were like, yeah, you're going to have to operate and get that stuff out. I said, when y'all plan on doing it? We don't know. I said, okay. Good answer. But what we can do is, for now, we can do some physical therapy and give you cortisone shots. I'm like, what's a cortisone shot? Well, we put a needle in your knee. I'm like, that doesn't sound like a good idea at all. Like, oh, it's not a big needle. These motherfuckers put out a needle that looked like it was to kill Jesus. like, where the fuck is that going at? Like, oh, we're not sticking the whole thing in. I said, yeah, that's what I tell women all the time. And they don't believe me when I say it, and I don't believe you.
That's funny. That is some old man shit right there.
Goddamn right. I am an old man. So like, it won't hurt that bad. And to their credit, it didn't hurt until the actual cortisone went in. They stuck it, the needle, like I didn't even feel it go in. And they was like, yeah. I'm like, oh, this is good. This is not too bad at all. Then that cortisone medicine went like, fuck this. I said, fuck it, I almost punched him. Like, yo, this is absurd. Like, oh, well, we'll see you Tuesday. Like, Tuesday, we got to do this again. Like, no, we're just going to check and see how you feel after it. And I got to tell you, I feel great. I've been running around blocks and shit like I'm an NBA player. I ran across the street today like I was the goddamn Flash for no reason. Like, oh, this trash.
Save it. You're going to wear it out.
I'm going to wear it all out in 1 week. Like, this shit felt good. Like, my knee feels great. I can kick motherfuckers again. Yeah, like,
don't be kicking people.
No, some motherfuckers deserve to
That's what
get
I was
kicked.
saying. You're going to come back. You'd be like, I need another one. I'm like, no. You start begging for it.
Come on, man. Give me another hit.
Actually, it's funny because Delvin's
Like Varsity Blues. Give him the shot, coach.
Yeah, I like it.
Delvin saying this reminds me, I forgot to mention one other thing. Delvin already knows this, but nobody else does. I got my surgery date, so.
Congratulations. That is amazing.
Yeah, I'm very excited. August 19th, so.
August 19th.
Yep.
I was going to make a joke, but I'm not going to make that joke.
I already know the joke, sir. You can text it to me anytime. It's never not funny.
Yes. I will just text you I'm just going to text you what we're going to now call August 19th.
Uh-huh. Yeah, go for it.
Yes. This is good. Oh. This is good riveting content for the podcast.
Yeah, yes, it is. It is absolutely good riveting content. Oh. Yeah, that's a good joke. Nobody else is going to know what that is, though.
No, they're not. Absolutely not. Not getting me canceled. Not on this podcast. Maybe on another one.
No canceling.
Yeah, not yet. Still got time to go. Who was I running from, Riley? I'm black. I'm running all the time. No telling who to be running for. Could be the police. Could be women. Could be anything in Miami. Could be shooting.
Could be John Madden's ghost.
Yeah, could be John Madden's ghost. Could be baby mamas. No telling. I'm running to be running. That's what I do. I run. Like Forrest Gump. Except black. So that will make me Bubba Gump. Except I didn't die yet. What a great, terrible movie.
Do you know what the funniest thing is? I've only ever seen bits and clips of that movie. I've never actually seen the whole thing.
It's a great movie. It's a legit great movie. But there are some things about that movie I question. Like Jenny, for one.
The whole point. Yeah,
Jenny is like a terrible person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she is awful. And I've heard like 1,000 different things that she could have possibly died from. And then looking at what the director wanted to do a Forrest Gump 2, I'm like, yeah, we probably should have did this. I'm glad y'all didn't do Forrest Gump 2. Yeah. Did y'all hear this? I think you talked about this, Ellie, didn't you? Somebody talked about this.
It was absolutely not me, because I know that I told you about what Zack Snyder wanted to do with this fucking Justice League 2 and 3 movies, which thank God we didn't get those.
Oh,
but like,
the Forrest Gump is actually worse. Yes, there was a sequel, a book sequel to Forrest Gump, but the director wasn't going off of that. He was going off of his own bullshit.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
I'll give you one. You know they never specified what Jenny had when she died.
Yeah.
In the sequel, it specified that it was HIV and Forrest's kid has it. So there's a scene in the movie that he was trying to make, which of course didn't get greenlit, that the kids in the school bus were going to be teasing Forrest's kid about having HIV.
Oh. That's awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thankfully, we didn't get that.
Yeah. Sometimes, much in media, sometimes you don't let these directors do what they want to do. Get it, Last of Us?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes you got to tell them, all right, stop.
That show's giving all of you guys big feelings, huh?
You know what? I can admit this, because I'm a grown man. When Donnie originally was going on his Last of Us 2 rant several years ago, I'm like, he's crazy. He's irrational.
It's iconic.
He's irrational. He's crazy talk. Now watching this show, like, you know what? Maybe Donnie was right. This show actively like, maybe Donnie was right. Maybe they should have done a sequel.
Here's my favorite thing. I like how the first season actually took like a storyline from the game that wasn't handled well and made it better. And then in season 2, I'm not spoiling anything for anybody, by the way. Like, we're not doing that. But like, they they actively made changes that make the story worse. And I'm saying that as somebody who like doesn't fully enjoy Last of Us Part 2. I have my own problems with that story, but it was told in a way that made sense. And what the HBO show has done is just like, what are we doing here? None of this makes any sense. Like they made changes to the narrative flow that make later parts of the story not possible at all. And if they are done in that way, you've just thrown your whole story for a loop. Like a whole, it's wild. Also, hey, we didn't need you to put all of this is not a spoiler, but like we didn't need all of the flashbacks from the game in one episode. Like they're told the way they are in the game narratively for a reason. You don't put them all in one episode.
I gotta tell you, I watched AEW's pay-per-view Sunday, right?
Yeah.
And it finished like 12 o'clock, and I'm like, you know what? I can watch NXT Battlegrounds next and just go straight through NXT Battlegrounds, or I can watch The Last of Us. I picked The Last of Us season finale, and I feel like that was a mistake. I should have just stayed up and watched NXT Battlegrounds, because that felt like that show was pretty good. I should have stayed up for another 2-3 hours and just watched that.
Also, the show, like, the way season 2 ends, you're leaving it there for 2 years. Oh, boy. That is a bad call.
I'm not watching that shit.
I don't know how it ends. I don't know anything about it because I haven't watched the show, obviously. But that was sort of kind of how I was feeling coming into this season. We had a Rude Days question asking us how season 2 was going to go. I think it was like if it was going to do better or worse. And I think I picked under because I feel like my intention was that like the momentum that was gained with the first season was somewhat lost. They'd been too long. It had kind of gone on too long. I was still wondering, as everything kind of opens up and people get out more and everything and the years progress, I was kind of wondering, like, are people still interested in this? Like, it was almost like it would have maybe been better as a one-off. Like, do they want to keep going with something like this? And
I gotta tell you, Donnie, after you were correct, because after the second episode, viewership dropped a lot. And then by the time the finale hit, I think they said the viewership 50% decline at the finale. That is crazy.
And here's the thing: that's kind of a lot of entertainment in general. Yeah. Right? Like, that's not just that. That's not specific to that show. There's lots of things that are kind of running into that. So a lot of ratings are down. F1 ratings are down. A lot of entertainment sales are down. Like there's a lot of competition. A lot of people are doing different stuff.
I wouldn't expect that for a critically acclaimed HBO show, though.
Yeah, but what does that even mean anymore? That doesn't mean what that used to mean.
It doesn't, but there are shows that like kind of keep that.
They nuked that whole brand a couple years ago, dude. Like,
and now they're going back to it. Like,
right, because their new brand is worse.
It's worse, far worse.
Yeah, so like I don't know I don't know if the letters HBO mean a whole lot to a lot of people anymore.
This is used to be HBO of The Wire or like
I would say
that prestige doesn't matter.
I wouldn't even go that far back. I would say the Game of Thrones years until the final season.
Yeah,
like Game of Thrones was like must-watch TV at one point in time.
Like critically acclaimed HBO used to mean something. I don't know how much that means.
Now it's kind of like.
I mean, it's wild because I own 3 seasons of Game of Thrones on Blu-ray right over there. And I have no desire to put any of them in my PlayStation.
Well, I have all of them. I have all the seasons.
Why do you own them then?
Because they're special edition cases with different covers. And
but if you're not going to watch them, why wouldn't you watch them?
That's the thing. When I bought them, I did watch them. But I have no desire to watch them now after the finale. And I don't know that anybody's going to buy, like,
That's what I was missing. I got you.
I don't think anybody's going to buy almost 8-year-old Blu-rays of Game of Thrones season 1, 2, and 3.
I hated to hear it. Like,
yes, they will.
I opened up Blue Sky last week. I started seeing some reactions, and in Blue Sky tweets, there were, people are like, I really didn't expect them to do this much or go this far or depart this, and I was like, oh, and then I went to, like every day I opened Reddit just to catch up on news stories and stuff. And I've always been in the Last of Us Reddit, so I've seen those headlines for years. And dude, The Last of Us Reddit was on fire.
Oh my God, literally.
They were big mad. Like there was like 100 threads. I mean, people were furious. I was like, oh shit. So this must have really missed the mark because everybody's angry.
Here's my favorite thing. It's not just the regular Last of Us Reddit, because I'm in the Last of Us Reddit. There's the Last of Us subreddit, like for the whole series. There's the Last of Us HBO subreddit.
Yeah.
There's
Each
the
game
Last
has
of Us
its own
2 subreddit.
Yeah.
And all of them are going on and complaining.
It's like a universal hatred. It's like Rings of Power levels of hatred. Like I was like, oh no.
And
it is. And here's the thing. And I say that as I really like Rings of Power. So everybody hates that too, and I like it. So
actually,
if you like it, if anybody out there is listening like it, man, keep liking it. Tell people you like it.
But like, so on the Last of Us thing, like, again, I have my own problems with the story in the game, right? I don't like Abby as a character. That's fine. And this is not like a detriment to like the actors themselves, because
no, not at all.
Like they're just acting what they're given. But like the way that specific characters have been written in the show just doesn't make sense. Like in the game, right? Ellie is like super rageful.
I was just about to say, does it make sense or does it make sense because you've played?
Sorry?
I'm sorry, my dog's not going to stop barking. I asked, does it make sense or does it make sense because you've played the game?
It's a good question, but I'll finish my explanation and then we might have our answer. So what I'm talking about is, yes, in the game, Ellie is like incredibly rageful, determined, like blinded by rage in the game, right? And you can see that in the way that she acts, in the way that like her quest for vengeance leads to other decisions that have huge consequences. But the Ellie in the show is written in a way that makes her look stupid, and not in the way that the game does it. Because let's be honest, in the game, Ellie is being stupid, like, but so is everybody in the game, and that's the point, right? Like that's the narrative point of the second one, is that like it's a cycle of violence is stupid, right? And the way it's told in the game, despite me not liking the split structure act between Abby and Ellie, where like you play all the way through days 1, 2, 3 is Ellie, then days 1, 2, 3 is Abby, then culminate, right? I don't like the way that's told, and I also don't like Abby as a character. I know that I've said that, but why I'm bringing it up is because they've done the same thing here in the show, is told it in that act structure, like, but decisions made on the way to telling that don't make any sense, because in the game, Ellie goes to Seattle for a specific reason, while in the show, that's been changed. The reason Ellie goes in the first place in the games has been changed for the show. So now a narrative decision that was told well in the game doesn't make any sense for a later culmination in the show to happen. And
I agree.
For example, like I'm trying not to spoil the show here, right? Because people are going to go and watch it because it's so controversial, right? Like that's what's going to happen here, is this is so controversial. People are going to go, well, why are people saying this is bad? So I'm not trying to spoil it. But one thing I have to say is a character gives Ellie a weapon, right? Before they go to Seattle. That weapon, never seen again. Where'd it go? Like at all. That weapon's never brought up again.
Gotta wait till season 4.
They just leave it back in Jackson?
It's just never shown again. Like they have the rifle before they leave. It's never brought up at all. And like I'm not upset about like omission.
Maybe
of,
it was in a scene or something that ended up getting cut out.
I have no idea. What I will say is I've seen people upset that, for example, the Hillcrest level from the games isn't in the show, right? But nothing really happens in Hillcrest except a huge gameplay chunk where like you're fighting like a whole group of people, which, as we know, the show is only showing the necessary violence. Like that's been said for season 1 and it's been said for this, right? But I'm not upset about that. I'm just upset about like, hey, character reasoning has changed. Like all of Ellie's anger isn't even Ellie's in the show. It's Dina's.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense, like at all.
Well, that's
it's just decisions made, and you can tell.
Another story.
Does it not make sense, or is it like, is there any justification for that? Or are they trying to build Dina's
without
character?
spoiling it? There is justification for it in a way, but it doesn't fit what it should be. It doesn't work.
It's not good enough.
Yes.
Correct. And it's also like, so Craig Mazin wrote most of the episodes of this season, right? He wrote episodes 1 through 5 all by himself. Okay. And then episodes 6 and 7 also have Neil Druckmann and Haley Gross as co-writers. And there is a distinct difference in episode quality between episodes 1 and 5 and episodes that Neil and Haley are working on. I have to say, Craig Mazin does not understand the source material at all.
I have to say, sometimes I don't feel like Neil Druckmann understands the source material.
That's its own thing. I definitely agree with you there. But Mazin himself does not understand this story and does not understand these characters. And the way that he speaks about Ellie in general, starting in his commentary following episodes in season 1, makes me feel gross. Not even just as like a person, but as a woman. The way he speaks about Ellie makes me feel gross. And bad choice is all I have to say on that. Like, I'm not trying to determine someone's character. Just he doesn't understand these characters himself. Yeah. And it shows.
That's
and there's
crazy.
no hate
It's a crazy thing to say. Like, this guy has been working with Neil and they had all this promo and stuff together and he doesn't understand it at all. It's like,
so
I'm only pressing. It's like, I'm trying to boil down what you're saying into like little bite-sized statements. And like, I'm hearing that it's different from the game. I understand, like we all do, how we could become precious over something like that. But like, it's a different show. Like, it might be different than the game.
It's an adaptation. I understand it's not going to be followed to the T. My issue is the changes made for this adaptation don't work.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's not a compelling narrative reason for those changes at all.
I think, to put it best, the direction they go into changes the characters themselves as opposed to make the show better. It doesn't add context. It changes who the characters are and their motivations.
They're changing like the archetype.
Correct.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
That's
sorry. That's what I was trying to get at. I know that I was tiptoeing around because I don't want to spoil it, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
The way you were explaining it made me think that you were getting somewhat crossover, like maybe minor details.
Yes.
No.
It's architectural detail that make the character who they are.
That's different. Yeah, that's
different.
Which redefines them and their motivations. It's like, your motivations kind of suck now.
Also, I will say on that note, like to build off of what Delvin is saying, again, not a spoiler, but in the game, they slowly build up, right? Because when the big event that causes the whole narrative to happen in the game occurs, you don't know why, right? From the get-go, you know why it happens here. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's just told to you expositionally by the character themselves before they do it.
In a way, like if you watch Speed Racer and how they explain every little detail of things, like, so I'm cranking up the Mach 5 to commit my crime, and after I commit my crime, I will complete this mission. Like, bro, you don't have to tell us all this. We get the point.
Like clunkily told, right? And then, as I said, the way that they end this is the same way that they split the act structure in the game. And that's where you're ending it, but you're ending it in a way that, you remember how The Walking Dead ended season 6 into 7? Where
Danny Ben started watching The Walking Dead way before that.
No, I know, but like for anyone who's familiar with it, they end it right as Negan swings the bat and you hear impact and the screen turns to blood, but you don't see who dies.
Correct.
Right? That's basically the decision they've made here, where it cuts to black after a pivotal moment, and you're going to leave it there for 2 years while you write, film, and add special effects and post-production effects on this. That's a bad choice. Because The Walking Dead, for example, when that happened, it was also a bad choice to do that, but you only had to wait 6 months for the next episode.
And not to spoil anything, but The Walking Dead's, when you came back, there was a payoff for that. And if you follow the Last of Us story,
there's no payoff.
There's no payoff. So it's like, all right.
There may never be a payoff narratively, but here, I was going to ask if any of these decisions and or character changes are setting up something else. Like, is there the chance that season 3 makes good on these things and makes you feel better about them? Like, are they making the changes to get somewhere? Or they're like, we're trying to get here, and it would be better if we changed Ellie now to get us there. Is that possible?
No.
I disagree. With that.
No.
I think it is possible, but the direction they're taking it is in a way where it's like it's kind of playing his hand a little too much. It's like, all right, we see what you're doing, and you're trying to make the audience feel a way about a certain character, as opposed to making them kind of ease themselves into it.
So the reason I'll deliberate into
cheap.
why I said yes, but I'll also deliberate why I said no, because, and I'm sure everyone in this call will agree with me, the game doesn't hide the fact that Ellie's making bad choices, right? The game does not hide that. The game has no qualms about making anybody feel bad for being Ellie, right? Or like empathizing. Like, the game makes you question your
moves and your decisions.
It makes you question how you feel about Ellie as a character. The show refuses to do that. The show is refusing to make the audience feel bad about Ellie at all. Like, Ellie...
I think it's the opposite. I think that the show is making her unlikable in a way that she doesn't need to be unlikable. Because she's making decisions where it's like, why did you make this decision? What was the point of this? And it's in a way, it's like, and on the contrast, on the other side, is making you feel sympathy for this other character who we don't know is terrible, but people who play the game know this character is terrible. It's like, ugh.
I was just going to say, it's funny. The way you explain that is large. I mean, that was a big issue that I had just with the game.
Yeah, but it feels like in the show they lean into it even more.
They go even harder.
Yes.
Got it.
And
because she'll say things, you're like, fuck you need to say that for? That's a weird thing for you to say. That's out of character for your character to say.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
Yeah.
I still don't know. I think you both have done a really good job of providing some review of it. I still don't know, I'm going to call like an innocent bystander here, as a spectator from the sidelines. I think you're all trying to make a case why like it's different. I think you're doing a good job. I just don't know if what you're saying, like, it just sounds like you're too close to the game. Like, this sounds like fans that like read the book and hate the movie. Like, you know, like that's what it sounds like.
I will say this. I will say this. I still recommend people watch the show.
It's like I wonder if you guys. Well, it can't be because, like I said, it's kind of. I don't know if it's widespread, but like online, the online
community is
heavy
like
negative. It's really negative. So I was gonna say, like, I don't know if it's an acute thing of like people being too close to the game, but there's a lot more people that watch the shows never played the game.
Yeah.
And they're mad. They're mad too.
Yeah, my thing is this. I think that it feels like bad writing.
Yeah.
As opposed to the story of The Last of Us 2 not adapting well. You just feel like really bad writing at times, really awkward word sentencing and the way they express things, and character moments that should be good, but they fall flat because the line was just bad and didn't work. So instead of feeling sympathy for the character, you're like, oh, you're weird. This doesn't work.
Well, I hate to hear it.
I do too, because I was excited for season 2.
Yeah, so was I, actually. Like, I was super excited. But here's what I will say. Like, no hate to any of the actors or actresses. Like, Caitlin Denver is doing incredibly well as, like, Abby.
I wanted her to be Ellie.
I wanted her to be Ellie as well.
That was my pick for Ellie.
I kind of agree.
I understand
Book
that.
smart?
Yeah, and other things. But she's doing really well as Abby. She would have been a better pick for Ellie, but no hate to Bella Ramsey. I love Bella Ramsey, but the problem
she's
is
doing good as Ellie.
The way Bella Ramsey does not use she. It's they. Correct. Just to be clear. But the direction that Bella is being given is not good. Like,
yes, bad.
The writing for the character that Bella is playing just doesn't make sense for the show, and Bella themselves is putting their effort in. You can see that, but the direction is bad, and so it comes off as bad. And ignoring the idiots who go after Bella's looks.
Yeah,
that's fucking weird. Like, I criticize the acting or the writing decisions for this character, sure. You don't need to be criticizing Bella's looks at all.
I don't think any of our community is doing that.
No, I'm just generalizing.
I don't think that needs to be said to us. Yeah, we don't need to talk about. Yeah. That sounds like I haven't seen that, but I don't think that's a.
I've seen people do it, but not nobody in our community.
Yeah, I'm sure there's always somebody doing something on Twitter. Yeah, that doesn't count as people in my book.
I'm not on Twitter anymore, so I don't know.
Very good.
Smart.
Very good.
Yeah. I'm just on Blue Sky.
Yarden says some thought part 2 was going to translate to TV better than a game. It did not. I was somebody. I was one of people. I always thought it would.
I think it could have if they would have made some changes to make the story.
I was always worried about the pacing. I think I told you guys that from like the season. Yeah. I was always worried. Like the pacing on game 2 is like you got to reorganize that whole timeline to do it.
I was talking to my son about that this morning.
This should have been done day 1 Ellie, day 1 Abby in the show. It would have made a lot more sense. But they didn't do that. So
interesting.
And now they've left it in, I don't think this is a spoiler. I'm not saying anything too bad. They left it in the theater confrontation that you get the first time at the end of day 3.
Yeah.
That's where they've left it.
I don't hate that on paper. Like if I was to write this out on paper, that's probably where I would have stopped season 2.
Which is a fair point.
Like I said that in the first game. Like I said that when the game came out, I was like, it kind of becomes a different game after that. like it's a different game. You know, Last of Us Part 3 or Last of Us Part 2 almost has. I've always thought it felt like playing 3 games. It's kind of like 3 distinct, different kind of games, and all wrapped up in this one game. You know, there's definitely these 3 arcs. There's 3 parts to this game. So I get that just on paper. I get it.
But the reason I'm saying it's bad in the show is because you know how that confrontation ends in the game. But for the audience, what it does instead is, as I said, they've changed character motivations. So one of the characters that's pivotal to that scene isn't there.
Okay.
Like at all. And that scene happens but doesn't complete and goes to black after the gun is fired.
Yeah, so they leave you on a cliffhanger. Yeah. I'm not going to lie to you. I think again, I have not watched any of it. Mm-hmm. I didn't expect them to I expected them to do more in season 2 than get there. I thought they would have gotten a lot further in season 2 than that. So I almost find that encouraging. That did they like give a lot? It sounds like so you're telling me they ended in the theater fight. My reaction is, oh, they must have given like Ellie and Joel like a lot of time to like really like feed that up and before that break. They didn't do that either?
Nope.
They get a solid 1 episode.
So what are the other 8 episodes about?
Oh, okay. So there's 7 episodes for the season. The first 2 are in Jackson. Then it's day 1, day 2, day 3. And episode 6 is the flashback episode, which has every flashback from Ellie's part of the story in 1 episode.
Interesting.
Yeah. It was
very interesting. Well, my wife saw the advertisement, went to go watch something on HBO, and she was like, oh, season 2's coming out. She's like, are we going to watch it? I was like, nope. And then like she was like, oh, that's right, you don't like the second one. I was like, nope. She's like, never mind.
He didn't like the first season.
Oh, I mean, no. I was just talking about she knows I didn't like the game.
Yeah, the game, yes, but you didn't like the first season of the show.
It's hard to put into words. Like I bought the big special edition of the console, and I unwrapped it all. I had it all. I play to beat the game. I packed it all back up. I was like, absolutely not. Never mind. So
Take it back.
Yeah, the first season I liked. I think it was fine. I think it. Well, it's hang on. I'm grading on a curve. When I say I think it's fine, I mean like in the grand scheme of media, I think it's fine. I think it's an exceptional video game to TV adaptation. The first season.
I agree with that.
So like by video game standards, I thought it was great. By show standards, I thought it was fine. My only critiques is I felt like they needed more episodes because it felt fast, and I don't think it got the build that like we would want those characters to have. So I felt like some of the weight was missing, but that might be because I played the game. My wife tend to agree with me. Like it moved so fast, it had a lot of questions. You're like, wait a minute, what is that? And how does this? But like, there's a lot of questions that felt unanswered. You know, like it almost felt like like Cliff Notes. It was like Last of Us Cliff Notes. You know, it was like a bridged synopsis version of what that game is. But I liked it. It was fine.
Yeah.
I hate to hear that. Yeah, I hate to hear that. Folks, a lot of folks aren't liking the second one. But if you're out there like Riley is and you like it, man, let that flag fly. Tell people you like it.
Yeah, enjoy
Don't
it.
let them rain on your parade.
Yeah, if you like it.
I am that person. I really love Rings of Power. Like, love it. Like, really like it. Watch every episode. Really like it. And I honestly, it's hard to find anybody to say one nice thing about that thing. On everybody universally hates it.
I still need to watch that. It looks interesting. It looks pretty.
I think it's, but I know it's not setting the world on fire. It's no viral Netflix hit or anything like that. But I think people watch it. I think the numbers on Amazon are pretty good.
Yes.
So for all the hate it gets online, like people are watching it by Amazon Prime
watch
standards.
They definitely watch it.
So I know it sucks if you're one of those people out there. I always say it, like this applies to everything, movies, games. It sucks when you really like something and the entire internet hates it. Like everything's always divisive. You'll always find a hater. But like when everyone hates it, that kind of blows. You're like, oh man. I always hate that feling.
Yep. Trust me.
Yeah. I will say though, like for
being
for
an
example,
AEW fan.
I will say, you know, like for people who have never played the games, like for example, one of my roommates has never played the games, had no idea. My other roommate had watched the first season and knows all about the games, like both of them. They just watched it together for the first time, and they had a great time. And they started season 2, and I don't know where they are in season 2, but from what I can tell, the person who's never seen it at all is enjoying it. So
They're digging
That's
it.
good. That's what matters.
Yeah, that's kind of like when I hear you guys talk, I in the back of my head, I'm like, it's because they played the game. Like it's hard to let go with what you're saying. It's like you have this pre-connection to it. I'm sure I do too. You almost wonder, like in a blind sample, what would the feelings be like?
Yeah.
You know,
I don't disagree on this, by the way.
no, I don't either. But the thing I will say is I do know some people who've had no interest in the games, watched the show for season 1, loved it, and still have no interest in the games, have watched season 2, and they hate it, and they don't intend to watch season 3. So,
Wow.
maybe ultimately, maybe it's just a really divisive story, like it always has been.
I mean, it
Maybe
has
it
been since it came out.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the intent of the original story was to be that way, and that legacy continues. It's still that way.
Yeah. I will say, the other thing I will say is Neil Druckmann recently came out and like clarified the ending of the first game. That didn't need to happen, like at all. I don't know if you
his
saw
story.
this, but I understand that. But the thing is the story is more interesting. The story is more interesting when you don't clarify the ending, right?
Sure.
Like
Yeah.
My thing was about that because I saw that and I was like, you kind of like made more plot holes when you didn't have to, but it's cool.
100% made more plot holes, but also like you coming out and saying, "Oh yeah, they 100% could have made a cure." Okay, that doesn't change. I still agree with what Joel did. That doesn't change anything at all. You've just taken the debate out of it. Which
when I saw that, I was like,
I
so
never
no,
debated over that ration. I don't care if they could make the cure, and I don't think that's
I don't
really all
either.
that
I'm
important.
saving my daughter. That's it.
You know what that is? That's cheap cover fire. That's all that is. Like
my rationale is, if y'all can make a cure, go make one.
Joel
Y'all didn't make no documentation of all this information at all. That was the one doctor who could do everything in this whole universe. The one guy had all the cliff notes.
Now y'all sound like comic book fans.
No, but also I'd like to say we can make a cure, but our first instinct upon finding an immune child is to cut their head off. That's our first instinct, and not to run tests.
Hey, you got to do it. It's in the brain. You got to do it.
That's not how that works.
I don't I understand why fans would argue over a minor detail like that. And maybe some wouldn't think it's minor, but the decision to make the actions that were made doesn't rest on whether or not that's true.
No, the cure, whether or not
that decision's happening for different reasons.
Am I saving the
I agree.
world, or am I saving my daughter?
I don't think it
I'm
matters.
saving my daughter.
I agree with that 100%. It doesn't matter the decision Joe made. He made the decision he made for that.
Yeah.
But my whole thing was, we're going to find a cure. Now the cure is dead. Like, the cure is dead? Like, we just stop now? That doesn't make any sense.
Can you imagine the end season 3 with a cure?
Could you imagine if I just yeah? Can you imagine if someone just goes in a hospital and shoots a cancer down? Like, well, we can't cure cancer no more. Like, what? Like that's how that
crazy. Like,
that's how they're doing it.
Hey man, LinkedIn is down, Delvin. We can't find another person, man.
Can't find nobody else to do this.
Here's what I will say. If a part 3 happens, I think the story will be about Ellie finding Abby to finally make the cure. I don't think that's a good
wild.
idea.
That's wild.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, are they going to have an Ellie Abby like love scene?
Oh, I'm checking out right now. I'll tell you right now. I'm not
like if you want a fever dream. Last of Us 3, like, broad strokes. You want to get nuts? We can get nuts.
I'll tell you right now, I'm not playing that game.
That might be better than the game.
That's what I'm checking out. That's what I'm like, all right, fam. We're done.
Okay, I understand, but that's basically where they're heading, right?
I kind of like this as a spectator because I'm having flashbacks to those episodes we recorded and those discussions we had for years.
Oh, where we were all just yelling at each other.
And there is a decision in the second game that Ellie makes that I wholly disagree with. I'm like, she wouldn't do that. This isn't the character I've spent all this time. And everybody yelled at me. And here you guys are like, they're changing the character. It's not this. I'm like,
goddamn right, Donnie.
I'm like, I fucking get it.
Just appreciate me saying you were right.
Also, I just want to say from the game, I think I know what decision you're talking about, but I can't place it. So, message me after, or right now, send it to me.
Well, just spoil the game now.
Oh no, no, that game is forever old. I can tell you, I've said it before. And I would, if you don't remember, maybe you disagree with me. Everyone mostly has. I think the final act of that game is kind of nonsensical. And the motivation for going to California and in the house when they're sitting there, and I was like, this makes no. Somebody needed to grab him and be like, no, this is the end. Like, you've nailed. And then no, we got to. I thought that whole idea was cheap. It was poorly supported. It felt like he wanted to do more than they. It felt like the next game. And I was like, dude, this needed to be. I just didn't like it. I didn't think.
Yeah.
I didn't think it made sense on many fronts, including Ellie making decisions so blinded by trauma that, I thought Ellie was. I always considered Ellie smarter than that. She was a survivor. It was survive and endure, not at all costs go across the world. Let's go fight on a beach. That made no fucking sense to me. I don't like this.
And then
found your happiness and chooses to nah, it's cool.
Yeah, nah, fuck also, everything. Here we go. And somehow Tommy just knew where she was. He's like, listen, I got on the ham radio, tracked down a person that posted up. Like, what? We spent we got on a horse and went all across the country trying to get to university because nobody can make a phone call. Dude's like, I got her. She states away. I know exactly where she is. I had so many issues with that.
Oh, yeah. Also, Ellie gets bit again in Santa Barbara for no fucking reason, only to be like, you really can find her before you die. You
know what that felt like to me? It felt like Uncharted. It felt like video game. It's like it's like when you get the boss rush at the end. It just, the full the full base full of people, super action combat. I didn't.
Yeah, why?
I didn't like it.
I would appreciate if you you go on your own, you handle it. I got it.
I felt like that could have been a third game, where like after years and like they've endured and she's living. We found her. They've and then like that's a whole different story. I felt like that could have been a whole thing.
Yeah.
That they just like threw in there. What is that section? Like 3 or 4 hours? Put it all in there.
Like Santa Barbara / like Lev and Abby getting to Catalina Island or whatnot is like 2 to 3 hours at most.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that stuff I liked. I was always wondering how they'd pull that off in the show.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking of the TV show. I was like,
so that's probably season 4. You've got.
I was like, that whole act.
Before you see that.
That whole act is something else. It could be crazy for television, but we'll see if they make it.
Well, based off of their writing, they'll make it next season. Tell the whole story right then and there.
So my favorite thing is
I just want them to introduce like new characters, like just Walking Dead it. They just don't even talk about Elliot anymore. They're like, this is Tim. Like, who the fuck is Daryl?
Who the fuck is Daryl? He has a crossbow.
Norman Reedus comes in the crossbow. You're like, what the fuck?
Also, here's my favorite thing. Here's Daryl for the show. Now has his own show in the Walking Dead universe.
Yeah.
He's the lead.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Dude, I love Daryl as a character. Don't get me wrong, but that's so wild. Dude, like he doesn't exist in the comics, and he's the most popular character for the show.
Yeah, we're almost an hour in. We're still in the first bit. You got started on the show and just went.
Well, it's The Last of Us, so it counts.
Tell us how you really feel. You guys, like I said, you guys have big feelings, huh?
Yeah.
I did not like it.
Yeah,
you and the rest of the internet.
I did not like it.
I love that Delvin entered the show, and he was like starting to come around to Team Donnie. All these years later.
Yeah, he's like, yeah. Donnie's
6 years later, Delvin's like, hey, the shit the white kid said makes sense.
White boys make a lot of sense.
I didn't hear it before.
Yeah.
I hear it now.
I hear it now.
That's funny. All right, you ready to do the news?
Let's do the news.
Okay.
I could get an Xbox for cheaper. Yeah, but then you'd have an Xbox.
And speaking of having Xbox, PlayStation has gone on sale a week after Xbox raised the price, or 2 weeks, I guess, after Xbox raised the prices on all of their hardware, consoles, and everything. PlayStation said, hold my beer. And they're dropping the price on everything. So their standard days of play campaign has kicked off. $50 off on the PlayStation 5 Pro across America. And you can get a digital PlayStation 5 for $400 with multiple bundles to choose from. Astrobot bundle, there's an NBA 2K bundle, Call of Duty bundle. You can get all of them for $400. PlayStation VR 2 and the Horizon Call of the Mountain has also got a $50 discount. Various first-party games are on sale. I looked at the PlayStation Director. It looked like they were all half off. Looked like a bunch of things, like all the first-party stuff's like $29.99. So all that stuff is good. What do you guys think about the Days of Play campaign? They're about to shift some numbers here.
Maybe.
It's crazy. What do you think about this crazy sale where the consoles are the price they were originally priced at?
I mean, not even here. Here, they're still more expensive than they were at launch.
Goodness.
Canada.
I tried to talk Jack into buying one.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, you wanna ditch that Series S? I had him ready to do it, and one thing stopped him, and that's Marvel Rivals apparently isn't cross progression. He'd have to start all over, and he was like, I can't.
Yeah, I understand.
That's funny. I played Marvel Rivals launch weekend and haven't played it since.
It was hilarious. Oh, they play every day. It was very funny. He goes, I'd lose all my progress in Sea of Thieves. I was like, no, you won't. He's like, what? I was like, that's whole Xbox's whole thing, dude. Like, that's their whole gig.
Play anywhere.
You can pick that up. And he was like, really? And he goes, Forza 2? I was like, and Forza. And he goes, oh, I think I'm gonna have to do this, Dad. I was like, yeah, pack it up. And he goes, do you know about Marvel Rivals? I was like, I don't. You have to look it up. And he messaged me. He goes, it doesn't have it, Dad. And I was like, well, not everybody can be Xbox, son.
Yeah.
And yeah, so like, because that's fun, right? Because I grab Forza on the PlayStation now, and I log in, and it makes me leak the account, which no problem, right? And I do it, and like, it's so weird to like, I'm discovering new roads for the first time in the game, but like my number's not changing in the game itself because of what I discovered on Xbox when I had it.
I think it's brilliant what PlayStation's doing. Not gonna lie, we're gonna bring the prices down to its original price right before the Switch 2 comes out. It's kind of smart.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. They want to try and stay relevant, stay in minds of people as the Switch launches.
Correct.
What you're doing is you're reminding people like, hey, you can buy that Switch, or you're putting that in their mind by doing it.
Put a couple dollars more, get a PS5.
Yeah. I saw some people, I hate giving voices to people to bad opinions, but I did see this and they almost got me to like rage reply. I didn't, but they almost got me. It was on Reddit and they were like, it was more or less like, we're all being fed a bunch of lies. All these companies are raising the prices saying that they have to because of tariffs in the world, and PlayStation is discounting stuff. How is that possible?
No. Easy.
And I was like, go ahead. Delvin?
You heard me?
I did not.
You hear me now?
You kind of froze there.
You just froze.
That's weird. I was like, it's easy because PlayStation still has a bunch of fucking stock here.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was super easy.
Yeah.
It's like, I was like, one, they're the market leader. So they're making more because they're selling more, which means they have more stock. They're probably already here. Their own president said they've been stockpiling systems in anticipation for the tariffs.
Yeah.
So yeah, this all makes sense to me. I was like, this is totally, but like when I tell you that thread had hundreds of response, like it was a big thread.
Yeah.
Like I just couldn't. I was just like, oh.
This is simple math.
Yeah, that's definitely a reply meant to make you angry. And
Sure.
yes,
Which
again,
is why I
this
didn't
is
interact with it.
it's not a load of bullshit that like companies are putting the cost of the tariffs onto the consumer. They were gonna do that anyways.
Yeah.
But like,
And even if there was the threat that tariffs are going to go up at some point, then you'd want to sell now.
Yeah.
It's
Sell them
more
when you can
motivation. Sell them while you can. Like try to sell them while people are panicked, while they think they're getting a good deal, why they're scared the tariffs might make it more expensive. Sell
as much as you can. So
yeah, this is it. Make your hay.
yeah.
And then when you have to raise the price because of tariffs, then you go for it. But
Correct.
by then, all those uppity companies would have done it for a while now. So
Sell.
smart.
Yep.
Makes sense.
I thought
to me.
that was pretty self-explanatory, but apparently some people
Yeah.
don't realize. But yeah, I tried to talk him into it, but Marvel Rivals is what's going to do him in.
I would have told him a couple of weeks ago he should have traded his in.
He wanted me. He wanted me to. I'm not buying a PlayStation. I don't like the size of the console. I've got nowhere to put it, and I've gone through this math 100 times. Like I've done with all the others. I think I'd play Infamous for it for a weekend and never touch it again. So I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah. Your PlayStation is the Switch too.
I need them
And
to.
that's fine.
I need them to put Infamous on PC or something. Like do that. Days Gone, yeah, like whatever. That's fine. Put Infamous Second Son on PC.
Port of Infamous, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In addition to their sales, we've got PlayStation Plus news. So you fine folks are getting NBA 2K25, Delvin's favorite, Alone in the Dark, not the good one, the remake.
Yeah. Well,
bad
is
one.
there a good one?
That's a good question. Is there a good one? I don't think so.
Not really.
It's just less bad than others. There's good,
Yeah,
bad, and then
just-
bad.
It's just nostalgic. That's
Yeah,
what
there's
let's
good,
call it what
bad.
it is.
There's good, bad, and then there's bad.
Yeah.
So you're also getting Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, which
It's
is
a good
pretty
game.
cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And Destiny 2, The Final Shape. As
Those are
Haley
all pretty solid.
commits cat abuse.
No, as Haley slaps the couch because the cat's thinking about jumping
The
up on the
couch.
entertainment
She punched
stand
that
again.
cat, listeners. If you didn't see it, she just punched that cat.
I love that cat. That cat is my child.
In non-essentials news, you're getting another Crab's Treasure, Skull and
Raven.
Bones. Get
Sorry.
excited for Skull and Bones.
Nah, son. Keep that.
Destiny 2, the Legacy Collection. You're getting Grand Theft Auto 3, the remaster.
That's cool. Does it work now?
And it does.
No.
And the Classics Collection is getting Mist and Raven.
Have they fixed the rain on GTA 3 yet?
I think so, yeah.
Why are they giving us Mist and Raven?
Because that's for the people that pay the most. For the people that give them the most money, They were rewarded with Myst.
Not a remake, not a remaster.
No, the
just
original.
The original fucking game that probably plays like
in
shit.
its originality, like in its original form.
Nah, son. Keep
That's what
shit.
you get for giving them the most money.
I saw someone on our Discord be excited for that. I was like, why?
Hey, it's a very popular game.
I'm happy they're excited for it, but it's like, this isn't a remaster. No, this is. Well, I can just buy you a code for this right now for like $3 on the Steam store, and it'll play better.
EA has canceled its Black Panther game it had in development and shut down the studio that was making it, Cliffhanger Studios.
Fuck you, EA.
The EA
Piece of
Entertainment
shit.
president said, "The decision was made to sharpen our focus and put our creative energy behind the most significant growth opportunities."
That motherfucker said DEI. That's what he canceled.
Growth.
That motherfucker said growth opportunities. In
Growth
the video game
opportunity.
market. What fucking growth opportunities?
They have a growth opportunity.
It says the company is going to be focusing more on a small handful of franchises moving forward. Per the report, the president said that Battlefield, The Sims, Skate, and Apex Legends will be key games for the company moving forward.
Well, they're not making no money.
It's also being said that the staff on the mobile and central teams are being let go, that they've got cuts coming from both of those divisions. Don't worry, EA Sports division is unaffected. Those folks are good. It's just everyone else.
What is EA Sports Division? Madden?
It's Madden, college football, football club, F1, UFC, all of that.
So Madden and college football.
Dude, FIFA.
Dude, FIFA.
Oh, yeah,
FIFA fucking
FIFA's the biggest one, man.
FIFA
So I saw
fucking bank.
So you say that, and I have no idea if this is right or not because I didn't care enough to look into it. It's outside my purview. But in a lot of the reactions to today's news, I saw several people say that apparently FIFA did not sell very well this year. And that might be why they're having cuts.
So that is true. But the thing is you would think the cuts would be in the sports division and not.
And hang on, did I say
games.
not sell very well? Because obviously FIFA football club, it's called EA Football Club or whatever, but I'm gonna keep calling it FIFA. FIFA sold well, it just didn't sell as well as FIFA normally sells. So it sold fine. It sold fine. It just didn't sell profit margins fine.
And it's also not doing well microtransaction wise because they've nerfed the pulls on the packs.
Well, that's even worse.
People have stopped buying them.
So, but yes, you would think if FIFA was the issue that they would cut, but definitely not. You're not going to rob from the golden goose. You're going to rob from everyone else. I'm glad I saw this. I was looking up the story after Delvin. Delvin, of all people, shared this article with us. I think it's the first time he's ever posted news first in the Discord.
When
of course, it would
Black
be
Panther. You fucking with me.
You haven't even seen it.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter. It's vaporware. It's
I've
fake.
been asking
It was
for this
fake
game for years, and you cocksuckers took it away from me before I even see a drip of it.
You didn't even see it. Like, what did they take away from you? You've lost nothing. What did they take from you?
I've lost a lot. I've lost everything.
You haven't lost anything. Who the fuck is Cliffhanger Studio? Nobody knows who they are.
I don't know, but they were making a Black Panther game,
people?
And I'm mad.
Were they even real? It was like Devolver. Just announce the games. They don't have to just say we're doing it.
That's probably what they did.
That's all that happened.
They were like, what will black people like?
I was wondering.
Let's say we're making that.
100%. Like I was so shocked. You were like, now they've gone too far. I'm like, this is the line in the sand you're drawing. Of course it is. Of course, this is what Delvin gets angry over.
Black Panther should be made in Blade. Those are the two I'm waiting on.
Well, we better cross those fingers.
I will be very disappointed because neither one of them are coming.
You are swinging and missing so far. So
they're like, hey, the only Black Panther you get the one with the white guy with him.
The Captain America game, and that one got delayed.
Like, you better be lucky you get that one.
Facts. Ecstasis chimed in on this, and I'm glad I got this when I was looking up the story. He says that more layoffs are coming to the tune of maybe 400, and that the closure of Codemasters could be imminent as devs are being offered spots either with the EA F1 team, which is Codemasters, but I guess they would close like Codemasters headquarters, or the next Need for Speed project, which is in the works. And now I joined Delve inside. I've crossed the picket line.
Goddamn right.
Closing Codemasters would be brutal.
We need our white allies, Donnie. Come along with me.
Codemasters has been around like forever. Like forever. Like Activision Blizzard
like 30
forever.
years,
like since
right?
like the 80s.
Yeah.
Like Codemasters has done anything and everything. They've made games for everything. They are the best in class at racing, like racing games. Like they're every bit as good as Playground. Like they are incredible. I would hate, like that would be, I would just be, that would
I
be
mean, they
sad,
already said they're
sad.
not doing any more World Rally Cup or what.
Yeah, they let go of that. They let go of, so the people that made RoboCop have picked up that license.
Oh.
Yeah.
They're going to make the World Rally games. I mean, so obviously they wouldn't be, they're closing, getting rid of all the people. They would shift them to the F1 team, which Codemasters has already been making, and then moving maybe into other spots. It's just even the idea of like, let's say they lay off, you know, a percentage of the studio and basically get rid of the Codemasters name. That would be a sad day for gaming.
Codemasters have been making games since 1986.
Sounds right. I was about to say, like, they've been around, like, as long as I've know video games, Codemasters. They've been around forever. And they've made, like, licensed stuff. They've made cheap stuff. They've made expensive stuff, original stuff. They've published stuff. Like, they're, I don't know, like, they're synonymous. Like, when I think, like, European gaming, I would think, like, Lionhead and Codemasters. Like, they're, like, some of the best, one of the best, you know, legacies of video games. I would hate to see that go. Even just optically, like historically speaking, like optics wise, let alone the people would be even worse. But just the optics, like it's just like, why would you even mess with that? It's such a prestigious brand. Why? So you can, what are you going to call it? The EAF1 team instead of Codemasters? That's worse. That sounds so much worse. Oh, and apparently, because when I was looking for this, I came across articles today. Apparently the new F1 game is great. Like everybody's giving it great reviews and everything. Everybody's talking about how good it is. Yeah, that was a bummer news story to come across today. And I don't even care about the Black Panther part, and it's a bummer for me. I was like, man, this sucks.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
sorry, Delvin.
Yeah. You want
Pour
Christmas.
one out. Wakanda for never.
Apparently so.
I was excited for like a big, you know, open world action Wakanda game. Like I always thought like Monolith should have done something like that. If you take the Mordor team and let them make a Black Panther game, I was like, fucking let's go. You know, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
All right. Some headlines. Switch 2s are already in the wild. We are 8 days away, Kobe, from the Switch 2's release, but folks have already got hands on, which is pretty funny because Nintendo has made it inoperable without a day one patch.
Correct.
So just like the games, now the hardware doesn't even work without a patch. Now you need the internet for the hardware to work. You know, we trashed Don Matrick for this 10 years ago. Like we absolutely ruined this whole man's career. But, you know, things move on. I think it's kind of funny. You got all these people, because obviously these consoles are getting out by nefarious means, right? They're breaking street date. So I think it's hilarious that they're like, I got it. I'm going to make a video. Turn on, shit don't even work. And it's like,
Just
well,
brick.
that's some awesome clout that we've got here. You've turned it on. I saw the splash screen. It said Nintendo Switch.
Smart move on Switch behalf.
Yeah.
Play this
Yeah.
we turn
I
it on.
also, here's the other thing, like there are things in the settings and stuff that we've gleaned from it. We'll talk about it on Nintendo Shack, but like, I wonder how much we can even take like concrete, because once the patch comes, who knows? Like, does the patch just activate the console or does the patch do more? Right. There are people who are like, oh, it doesn't have themes, and they might be right. They're probably right. Cause right now it only has the 2 themes, but it needs a day one patch to work. Could have a day one patch with themes. Like it could, you know, it could happen. We have no idea.
Theoretically, yeah.
So
I know I saw that they were like there was a story the other day about like just them sitting in a cage on the floor of Target.
Yeah, they are. Yep. They're in
Yeah.
the back. Like all the shipments are going out, and they've got a lot to ship. So I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of us get them like before launch day. Like the shipping companies, they'll probably start putting them out there days in advance just because they're trying to make it by delivery day.
So I wanted to get one of these as a gift for my roommate, but dude, the price on these is literally no. Yeah. I can't do that. So
I got 3 of them.
What's it like to have money?
They're not for me, they're for friends.
I understand that. I know. I've seen like the Switch 2 exchange chat.
I grabbed extras for friends that couldn't get extras. So I'm sending one to Josh. He has since neglected. He's declined. So I'm sending one to Seth. And then my buddy that I always talk about from work that plays F1 and iRacing and stuff, he also wanted one and didn't get one. So I'm sending one his way. So I'm spreading the love. They're paying for it, obviously. I'm not paying. Wow. I don't have the money for all that. That's crazy.
I don't have the money for one of them.
The beauty of it is that I've got 3 different places with order, which means I'm playing the first one that shows up. So it's like I'm putting them against each other. I was like, all right, who wants to get here first? So I'm very excited. I can't wait to take off and play Breath of the Wild.
Oh, dude, I'd love to play anything on the Switch 2, but again, I can't afford it. Dude, I couldn't even afford Doom Dark Ages, which I want to play so much.
Gotta get Game Pass. So, didn't even pay for it.
On what?
Figure it out. Your phone. A toaster. I heard they make toasters now. Fridges. Something like that. So, you got to get one of those. What is it? Amazon. Get an Amazon TV. They get Game Pass on that.
Yeah.
Get one of those Samsung TVs. They just added Game Pass to that.
That would buy a new TV. Sir.
Wait, you got a computer? You got a tablet?
Yeah.
Play it on that. What do you mean, but that's it. You go to xbox.com/play and you sign in and you click Doom and that's it. You're done.
Okay.
You've got it. D-Life has got you. Stream.
Yeah,
Power of the cloud.
It's just fuck the cloud. I'd rather play it like not.
Could you imagine trying to play Doom Dark Ages over cloud? That'd be awful.
Yeah, that's why I don't want to do that.
Terrible.
That'd be terrible.
Dude, I'm playing Doom. I'm playing Doom like 2016 right now because I want to play Doom, right? And I cannot imagine trying to play that on like a cloud streaming. Are you kidding me?
I'm not gonna lie to you. Dark Ages is awesome. I like it.
I heard the shield is really fun to use, so
it is. Yeah, the shield is fun to use. It's like it's kind of weird. Like what it does, I think it does. Like it's doing it very well. It's really fun to play, and then like all the extra stuff, like the exposition and the narrative and the different gimmicks and everything. Like I don't think I really like any of it, but it also doesn't impact how much fun I'm having playing the game.
Yeah. The only thing I know
so it's like I've got critiques, but like, do they matter? Not when I'm flailing this mace and kicking people and punching and shooting and shit. No, it doesn't really matter.
No, yeah.
It's still a lot of fun to do that.
I don't know anybody who plays Doom for like the lore. Like,
right,
the Doom
exactly.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But the only significant thing about Doom lore that I know is that the Doom Slayer is a descendant of BJ Blazkowicz. That's the only thing I know about the Doom guy.
My only wish is that like you could skip over the other parts. Like if I could skip the dragon chapter, or skip like that would make the game better. It's like, okay, like I don't want to do this. I feel like that's a fine like request because like that's not what the game is. Right? The game is Doom. So it's like, yeah, I get that you threw this in here because you want to change it up, but it's like, but maybe you should give us an option to skip it if we don't want to.
Yeah.
Like if we just want to get back to ripping and tearing. Like
it's like in 2016 when like they're doing a bunch of exposition in his face and he just slams the monitor so it shuts up.
Yeah. It's like you're supposed to be kind of indifferent to all this. So like, why are you making us jump through these hoops? Like, let's get on with it. Like in that way, it's not like a pacing issue per se, but it interrupts the flow. You know, it's like, oh man, I was just catching my wind. Like, come on, get out of the way.
I've also heard the dragon doesn't control well.
It's fine. It's fine. I wouldn't say it doesn't control well. It is what it is. It's basic. You know, it's Panzer Dragoon. Like we've all done this in games before. It's not anything new. And it's not like I was at no point I was like, oh, this is bad. It's hard to control. It just is. It's just there's not a lot to it. It just is what it is. You know, very right down the line. It's exactly what you expect it to be.
Yeah.
So, Night Rain. debuts to 78, 79 rating, depending on which service you're looking at, which I think gets us the point. So that's fun. That's cool. You excited about Elden Ring Night Rain? Yeah.
I have no interest in that. I love Elden Ring. I love Elden Ring. Don't get me wrong. I platinumed Elden Ring. I had a great time with it, but I have no interest in a Elden Ring battle royale or like survival type game. That's like not.
Would that be like the lowest rating that these games have received?
Yes.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking when I saw it earlier. I wonder if that's just, it doesn't matter. I don't care.
I had it in Fantasy Critic too, because, it's Elden Ring. It's
Sure.
soft.
Yeah, so you picked it to go high.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Delvin just left. Star Wars Battlefront 2 smashes all-time Steam numbers, bolstered by recent social media campaign. I shared this in the Discord. I also brought it up because my son has fallen into this. All of his friends have been playing Battlefront for the last... It was hilarious. Last week when like the news was coming out about Battlefield and what they're doing to try and make that good, my son came through and he goes, word is they're making Battlefront. And I was like, what word? What are you talking about? They're absolutely not doing that. And he goes, that's what my friends are online. Everybody's saying they're going to make a new Battlefront's coming out soon. I was like, everybody's making Battlefield. That's coming out soon. And I was like, dude, there's no Battlefront in the, like, you're years away from Battle. I was like, I don't want you to get your hopes up, because he loves Battlefront. And what it was is they got swept into this hype, this trend, and like jumped in, and I love it. His friends played Battlefront all weekend long. I was like, this is great. Like, you love to see it.
Yeah, you like everybody's having fun with Battlefront, but yes, it's Battlefield in development, not Star Wars.
Yeah, I felt like I had to crush his hopes because he was like, they're saying it's coming out soon. I was like, nope, no, it's not. I was like, don't say that. It's not coming out soon. So, the full reveal for this year's college football game is slated for tomorrow. They had Ryan Day in a picture, and he looked nothing like Ryan Day looks. He looked like any generic coach from NCAA 2005. So they were like, he's white. He's Ryan Day.
It's random white guy.
Yeah. Delvin, if you're talking, we can't hear you, buddy. So, I'm not too excited because, like, I don't think they're going to announce new platforms. I will get more excited when EA says they're coming to Switch or PC. That's like the only thing I'm kind of hoping for. But this year's game, like from the preview builds and the screenshots that I've seen, it looks like they're adding on like a lot of extra flares, like team entrances and stuff. So maybe it's really good. It's got to be an improvement from last year. So
are they bringing mascot mode back?
Who knows? Maybe. You never know. MindsEye CEO, I didn't write his name down because it's not Leslie Benzie, it's the other guy, it's the business guy, claims that negative reaction to MindsEye and the recent gameplay trailers they've released was, quote, financed by someone, and it's hard not to guess who.
I saw this story, and
it's fucking wild.
Boy, are we just like pulling at straws for why people are not interested in your game. You can't just go claiming that. Yes, we can hear you.
We got you back, Delvin.
You cannot just go claiming that Rockstar is financed. Like, obviously, they didn't say Rockstar, but
That's
you
exactly
can't just go. You can't just go. Hey, my former employer is like financing an attempt to like destroy my game before it releases.
I gotta tell you,
no.
If you're putting out this statement, your game better be a 9 or 10.
Oh, this game is not. This game is like a 5.
This game looks like a 7 at best.
If it's a 5,
it doesn't look good.
You look like a fucking goof.
Well, that's exactly. So that's why I shared it, and that's why I shared some news earlier this week. And Dev was like, "You're really into this game," and I'm like, "No," and I never have been. No, and all the times we've ever brought it up, I continue to keep saying like it doesn't look good.
The first time I saw it, I was like, "What the fuck is this? This looks awful." It's definitely not, because this is an actual product that's coming out, but I've almost been like more intrigued or curious by the story of this game, because it was first announced as like an engine, like a user generated content engine, right? And then it's like, no, we actually have a game.
And then it was, we have a game by the guy that used to work at Rockstar. And then people ran with it. And like since then, every headline has been Leslie Benzies, former Rockstar game. Like it's all been tying to Grand Theft Auto. Every article about it. And then you actually see footage of the game and you're like, that's a really bad standard to put yourself. It's almost like they should be doing the opposite. They should be coming out talking about how like, hey, everybody, it's not Grand Theft Auto. We're much smaller. We're not doing that. We're doing something, but they're not. It's almost like they're welcoming the comparison, but that's going to end poorly for them. And I think we're seeing that now. They just released a gameplay trailer and everybody's like, that's garbage. Because it's like, yeah, because you all have GTA in your head. You're all expecting GTA and you're getting Watch Dogs. Like it's not.
And
it's not good.
You're not even getting the original E3 reveal Watch Dogs. You're getting
Watch Dogs on Wii U.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we're getting. We're getting Wii U Watch Dogs instead of GTA 5, and that's the only reason I keep kind of like reading about the story. And like this statement, he said this in Discord. So he went into Discord and was like, "They're paying people to hate us." That is, I mean, it's hard not to feel like as Americans, we hear that stuff a lot now. You know, who are the bad actors and who paid them to do it? Where'd the bricks come from? It's like, what conspiracy bullshit are you on that you think your mid-tacular ass game is being financed a hate campaign? Like, what are we even doing anymore?
Yeah.
Like, we just claim everything. Like, are my kids going to come home and be like, somebody paid the teacher to fail me? Like,
Yes.
what the fuck is happening? This is bad. Real bad.
But that's the society we live in today. People will use their failures and make excuses for their failures, and it's everything except them.
Everything else, right? Everything else.
It's a conspiracy against me. Somebody else did it. No, maybe
The game looks
sucks.
weird. Like it's got, so there's like decent mechanics. There's shooting. You can drive. It looks good enough. It doesn't look groundbreaking in any way, but it looks fine. Like it looks like a decent game. But then every time they show it, it gets a little weird. It's like the last time they showed it, they were like, users can make their own missions in game. It's like, wait a minute, it sounds like you don't have enough content and you want us to make our own?
Correct.
Like it's weird. It's
the
like
more
the game,
they talk about it, the worse it sounds.
It does, exactly. It's like, and it doesn't feel like, it feels like a game that was just announced and is years away. This fucker is apparently coming out in like 3 weeks.
Yeah, this thing's supposed to come out like June 21st or something like that. And what?
Like no,
it's got like
10th.
It's got like Redfall vibes.
Yeah, it does.
You know, like Redfall, people were like, I played it, it wasn't great, but we think it's going to be good. You know, like there was always like this hesitation with Redfall. That's how this game feels right now. It's like this weird. Have you guys heard any of the people like, you know, I'm always on YouTube, so I can talk about like my YouTubers where I get reactions from. I follow 2 or 3 different channels that got a chance to preview this game. Have you heard about people that previewed this game?
No, I have not.
I've not like seen anybody specifically talking about
users
it.
Users were allowed to preview this game, Delvin. They weren't allowed to play it. They were allowed to join a private YouTube stream where they were able to watch somebody play it over stream.
Oh,
that was the game's preview. They wouldn't even let you touch the controller.
That is red flag numero.
Right, like huge. Like that's like the weirdest press preview I've ever heard. It's like, we want you to preview this game and generate content for us, but we're not actually going to let you play the game at all. Yeah. Like I've heard of previews being via streaming, like you stream the game and play it because they don't want to send you a build or something. I've heard of that. This you don't even get to play. It's like, no. We've prepared some footage. We'll let you watch. You can watch this. That's your preview.
That's crazy.
It doesn't sound very confident in a game that's about to release.
I'm curious.
It's a weird story.
Were they actually playing the game then?
That is a correct thing to be curious about. Or what are you playing the game on?
Yeah.
Like it's a weird story. That's the only reason I keep sharing articles about it. Like it's just weird.
The more and more I hear about this game, the more and more I feel like it's going to be a disaster.
What it sounds like to me, and I'm just reading the tea leaves this could be way wrong. So by no means is this a judgment on the game. It sounds like a person with a name and maybe some friends sold something to an investor that had a lot of money.
Yes.
and had fun. Like that's kind of looks like how it's playing out. You know, it's like, oof. I don't know. Maybe it'll be great. Listen,
I hope it is.
I would love for reviews, even if it's not great. I would love for reviews to be like, you know what, I had fun. I might play the game because, as I was talking when I was talking to Dev about this earlier, somewhat saddening realization. It's not new, but we just don't get games like this anymore.
Yeah.
You know, in the generation that I think we, if I could speak for you guys, maybe not, but in the generation that like we were really getting some games and really getting into this, that E3 generation and that 360 PS3 we had a lot of these games. They were coming out every year. We had 3 or 4 to choose from every year. And in recent years, it's like they've all gone away.
Yeah.
Like they're all samurai games now. Every one of these games is just a samurai game.
Yep.
And like that open world crime driving game, like that whole thing, that GTA clone is
Gone.
Yeah. And that's crazy because it's the most popular game in the world. It's sold over 100 million. You'd think you'd have to be very good at it to be successful with a decent clone of it.
Like,
you know,
even if GTA 6 is bad, it's going to sell
a
billion
gangbusters.
Copies. It's
gangbusters. It'll sell. Even if it's bad, it'll sell.
Yeah.
People are legit excited for GTA 4 because there just aren't any other alternatives.
Dude, because there was the leak, right, that there was a Red Dead 2 60 FPS patch at some point in development and a GTA 4 remaster that got put on hold for GTA 6. But now that GTA 6 has been delayed, rumors keep popping up that at some point they might release those. I would drop money on both of those. Like,
that's crazy,
dude.
You talk about Delvin talks about all the time, and he's like, "Man, we got, multiple Uncharted's and The Last of Us on the console." It's like, dude, we got a whole batch of Saints Row games and The Godfather and Scarface and Mafia.
True Crime,
we had them
Sleeping
all
Dogs.
over the place. They were everywhere.
And now we can't get one.
I'm forever sad that Sleeping Dogs didn't
get like one a decade. No, it's being somewhat facetious. We got Watch Dogs Legion and Saints Row, and they were awful. So like that's
they were not good.
So outside of those competitors, it's like we've got like one a whole gen. Like it's really sad.
Where's my Sleeping
for me,
Dogs?
That'd be great. Just remaster that.
Well, they already did remaster it once, but do it again, please.
Right. That's what I mean.
Like do it again.
That's what I mean. Like bring that forward. Put that on Switch 2.
Put that on PS5.
Make that PS5 Pro enhance. Yeah, do a native update of that.
I love Sleeping
Remake
Dogs.
that in Unreal Engine 5. You're remaking everything else in fucking Unreal Engine 5. Do that. But yeah, no, it's kind of sad.
I still think my favorite thing about Sleeping Dogs at this point in age, sorry, I just wanted to bring this up, is every time the game goes on sale and Warrior 64 tweets out that Sleepy Dogs.
Sleepy Dogs. Yeah, that's like, for no other reason, I really wanted to root for MindsEye.
Yeah.
Like I hate the CEO comment, but like I want it to be, I would love it to be good. I would love nothing more than like, here's a cool clone kind of game. And like, it's like awesome. Can't wait. But nope. I think the nearest like thing like that we have now is like Far Cry. And that's, people would argue maybe the different genre.
Next year at the earliest. And it's also a different genre.
But it's like, that's the only kind of thing that's like even somewhat similar to these days, really. Right? We had Cyberpunk. That was going on almost,
6 years.
8 years ago. Yeah, it's like, it's been a while. Like it's kind of, you could start to count on one hand how many of these even like have come out. And that's nuts to me because it felt like that was all the rage. We just got so many of them. And then they just, it's not, they haven't gone completely away. Again, there's samurai games and there's a shit ton of those. So they just all became samurai games.
Yes.
We have 40 samurai games to choose from. So, Bloomberg reports that Apple is set to launch a dedicated video game app across all of their devices. And in the headline, they put around the Switch 2 launch, as if this is some sort of reaction to the Switch 2. If it is, which I don't think it is, but if it is, I would put it in the bucket of the PlayStation and their sale. Now, PlayStation was going to have their days of play sale anyway, but you make some noise because the Switch is about to make hay, and You want to put it on there. And Apple's probably thinking like, hey, let's remind people we got games too. It's not going to work, but
Let's remind them. Please don't.
I'm excited to see what this could be. I definitely think any hope would set you up for disappointment, so I won't predict, but like we have these controllers, right? The backbones and stuff, and they have like little launchers on mobile where you can launch games across from all these different things. Like Apple should have been doing that a long time ago. Like you should hit the game icon on your Apple TV or your phone, and it should launch like a console experience on your phone, you know, and here's your Xbox games, and here's your remote play games, and here's your iStore, your Apple Store games. Like all of that should be together, you know, in some sort of like console like launcher. I hope that's what this is. It also could just be, you know, a page to advertise, you know, Candy Crush or something. I don't know. So I don't want to get any hopes up, but I remain optimistic. It's like maybe somebody at Apple over there is going to get their shit together and actually deliver a video game playing type of experience, because Apple's got it. Kind of like what Xbox is. Well, Apple has it. They've got a console connected to your TV. They've got you connected to your phone. They can share that experience across devices. If they just made a controller or like a portal, dude, Apple would be set to really do some shit. But they've seemingly never really cared, despite, you know, they have these demos every few years where they show off Death Stranding or some shit. But then what happens? Nothing happens. You know, so it's really weird. It's really weird. Why they're not more invested, I guess. I've never understood it from Apple, but you know, I just don't think they don't see themselves as that. You know, they're like, no, we just make the store. All the developers are that, but it's like, I don't get it. I feel like nobody cares. I was waiting for somebody to say something. I was like, damn.
But
I gotta get D-Life on next time.
Absolutely not. No.
I don't give a shit about Apple gaming. I'm sorry.
Cyberpunk 2 has entered pre-production.
Hell yeah. See it 2031.
PlayStation 7.
Donnie, you know how much people didn't care? As you were talking about Apple products, Jess started asking, do we know about any good comic pods?
She's asking for podcast recommendations. You got anybody got recommendations I can listen to
anybody
instead
else
of
besides
this?
you guys right now?
Yeah. So whoever, you know, whatever that means for however long Cyberpunk, it's probably a long time. Probably a long time.
Fault.
This isn't an announcement.
Actually,
this is pre-production.
Might be a little quicker because they've switched to Unreal Engine for the next for all of their games going forward. So
I'd take that. Bet. I'd counterpick that on. I would take the field against that one.
I agree.
I said might be a little, not a lot.
Aren't they still working on another Witcher game now?
Correct.
Witcher 4, yes, which I'm so excited for because we get to play as Ciri.
And isn't that a while away?
She did a happy dance.
Dude, I love Ciri. She's my favorite character in the Witcher universe.
How many options is that? Like out of like 6 people?
Oh, there's hundreds of characters in the Witcher.
I'm messing with it.
I know.
Well, do you see her like?
You cut that in half.
Okay, hold on.
She looked up like, oh no, you did not just say that. This is a fun story. Not fun, but it's good to know. There was an interview with developers that used to work were Ready at Dawn, right? For the Order. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And they mentioned that a sequel to The Order 1886 was in development with PlayStation. It would have featured larger battles and multiplayer. In fact, the idea was pitched to be a trilogy. We were supposed to have The Order 1886, The Order 1891, and The Order 1899. And it was all written. They were working on the sequel when the plug was pulled.
That sucks.
Remember, everybody, the Order suffered so Concord could fly.
Yeah.
Wow.
Remember, we could have had the Order and a Black Panther game, and you fuckers killed it.
Yep. We got Destruction All-Stars.
Is this Concord, where I come in with the hot take and say that the Order wasn't
Fire
good?
Sprite. Who else has come along? Fair Games.
Better
It's not
than all
gone
these
well.
shit Donnie
It's
calling.
not gone well.
I mean, hey, look,
Factions,
Andy heading left again.
let's add-
Andy heading left again.
Let's add factions in there too. Like we could have had a trilogy of Order games, but
And Jade Raven left too.
Yeah. Again.
so what were you
haven't
saying?
got
You were
us-
saying the Order wasn't good.
Yeah, I didn't like the Order 18.
Well, that is an incorrect opinion that you can have.
I
You were
agree.
allowed to have that incorrect opinion. The
Hey,
Order
I
was
platinumed
dope.
that game. I just didn't
Great.
like it.
The Order
Vampire
I
Dick
loved
Man,
a
let's
lot.
go, baby.
Game didn't take so long. It was concise. It was to the point. The Order could have been PlayStation's Gears.
I agree.
100% could have been.
But PlayStation's Gears is Gears.
It is now.
Yes,
You don't
it is
need it now, but it could have been. They could have had a whole thing.
I like
It was
Order
like
a lot.
it was like the perfect way that I would like as a consumer. It's like the perfect way that I would like a new IP to be introduced to me.
Yeah.
Like, don't go too crazy with it. Like, give me something concise and short. And it's like, let me see. Like, I would have bought the sequel. And then you could have, just like in the olden days, you could have done more for the sequel. Like, you did the first one. Maybe it didn't make all of its money back, but you come back with a sequel and then it takes off. You know, like, we've lost that in games. If it's not a day one hit, we just get rid of everything.
Yeah. Perfect time. 5 hours, you're done.
But back then, this golden age that we always talk to, like old people at this point, you know, back then things are pitched as trilogies. You wouldn't make as much on the first one. It's competitive. It's hard to get people to buy new IP. But you make that up because you'd have the engine and the assets, everything to quickly do sequels. And you do the second one and the third one.
Yeah.
You know, and if it was really good, the fourth, the fifth one. Kind of hate to see it. I would have liked to have seen the Order.
I appreciate that we're in a time where people make games that are 200 hours long and people only pay like 15% of that 200-hour long game. So it's like a lot of people just don't even see most of the game.
Or that there's a group of people. I won't say how big or small they are. People would say they're a minority. I don't even think it matters. But you can live in a world today where you can make a video game that's 80 or like 40 or 50 hours, and people on the internet will yell at you about it's not long enough to justify the price. But then they get the game and they only play 10 hours of it anyway before they move on to the next game and the next game.
Exactly.
Like, that's wild. Like, that's
Yes.
because we know by player data that most players don't beat the game. Hell, they don't get through half of games.
Yes.
But then there is a large amount of people there, and it's like, how dare you try to sell me a 20-hour game for $70? Like, bitch, you don't even play 20
You
hours.
don't even play 20 hours. You might as well just play the 10-hour game.
Yeah, that's always a funny juxtaposition.
Sorry, while we're talking about this, I just watched one of the rabbits pull all of their hay out of their hay container and just drop it on the floor.
Nice.
Yeah, good job.
I couldn't do rabbits. I couldn't do rabbits in the house.
Dude, I love both of them. They're so
cute. I had a girlfriend that had a rabbit. Like, they're very cute, but it's also like, it's not a. I mean, I don't want to throw shade at bunnies. I'll leave them alone.
No, they're adorable. I love them.
I love it. It's like I was to say, they're not like pet-like. I know they can be like but they're animals. Like, there's like difference between it and a dog. Like, there is a difference. Can they both be pets? Yes, but it's different. Like, it's different when you have a bunny rabbit. And I say that as somebody who used to live with somebody with a bunny rabbit. Like, I've been there. It's a little bit different. It's It's kind of like having like a goldfish. You know, it's like, it's different. Is it a pet? Sure. It's not the same. Hideo Kojima confirms that an anime is being made off Death Stranding.
That could be the
Great.
most confusing anime in history.
I don't know that we need more multimedia Death Stranding stuff.
Are you
Who doesn't
sure?
want to watch an anime where 80% of you walking around carrying boxes to people?
Who doesn't want to
Hey,
watch
if anything,
anime
like,
that's
how long
writing
is that anime? Is it like
using
one
nonsense?
episode?
It's gonna be 12 episodes, and ain't shit gonna happen till like episode 8.
So Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah, pretty much.
Sign me up. like sounds
Yeah.
dope.
Every episode, he's just dropping a box off to somebody and hearing their story.
How many times is Jeff Keighley going to show up in the anime?
7.
Oh yeah, he's the narrator.
Yeah,
He's doing the whole thing.
he is deaf or stranding. One of them.
Are you guys getting Death Stranding? Is that coming out soon?
It's June. No, the next
That's a
video
big game
I'm
for you guys. That's like a tentpole release.
I love
for you
Death
guys.
Stranding.
Dude, I
love the
own Death
first one.
Stranding twice and I haven't played it at all.
I love Death Stranding. I beat
And
Death
also,
Stranding.
the next video game I probably buy is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4.
Yeah. I'm not going to buy it. I'm playing on Game Pass and wait for the Switch port. I think Death Stranding is going to come to Switch too. I've been calling that one for a while.
Yes, it is. Was Death Stranding popular that we need an anime? No, D-Life. It was not popular. But to be fair, most of these
popular
movies
does anything have to be to get an anime, though?
I was going to say that. To be fair, most of the things that we're getting movies of now weren't that popular to get a movie.
Yeah, good point. It's like,
Yeah.
And anime is much less than that.
We have an Until Dawn movie out right now, as you can go see.
Okay, hold on. We have an Until Dawn movie out right now that doesn't even follow the story of the games. It's not related at all. It just uses the name.
Correct.
Really? I didn't know that.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Nothing happens until Dawn.
I'm not going to watch that.
It's a movie that they made.
Also,
like, hey,
I counted today. Today I watched my 10th horror movie so far.
Hell yeah.
I hit 10 today.
I've watched 5 so far, and all 5 of them have been Final Destination movies. Anyways, they turned Until Dawn into a time loop movie. That's what the movie in theaters right now for Until Dawn is a time loop movie.
Yeah, definitely not watching that. Yeah, I mean, I watched 10 new horror movies for Decade of Horror. I've done 10 this year so far.
I have too.
It's pretty happy.
A lot of them I didn't like.
It's not as I say, it's not a great list so far.
Yeah. I will say this. My number 1 has been determined already. Ready? It's going to be really hard to throw off my number 1.
Sinners.
My 2, 3, 4, 5. You're correct.
The Sinners, right?
Yes. My 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I'm going to let you know this now. I haven't seen it yet, but I talked to my movie bro, the guy that does all the movies. We talked for maybe an hour about Sinners, and he tells me, he's like, dude, it's not really like a horror movie. So prepare to be challenged. If I agree with that statement, prepare to be challenged.
It is 100% a horror movie.
Well, prepare to be challenged because he's not alone. I've heard that a lot. Like a lot of like my horror themed podcasts and stuff are like, yeah, like it's horror, like Twilight's horror. Like they're not.
Not
digging it. They're not digging it. Like
who says Twilight is a horror movie? What?
I mean, I meant like I just pulled a name. I meant like it's got a gothic or horror theme, but it's not a horror movie.
No,
I will say 100%
a horror movie.
Twilight could be a horror movie if it was played from Charlie Swan's perspective. The dad. That would be a horror movie. I've got no idea. I regret pulling Twilight. I was just the first thing that came to mind.
That was
I
your
regret
fault.
that. Yeah, I apologize. I apologize to the listeners.
My autism
and I apologize to Delvin.
Yes.
And I'm not saying I'm not saying I agree. I'm just saying it's a recurring thread that I keep hearing from people, is that it's like, yeah, it's horror, not horror kind of thing.
You apologize.
I think that comes from
so funny.
The build of the movie. Like the first hour
Ghost
and the second hour feels like 2 different movies.
Okay.
Much like from Dusk Till Dawn. The first hour is leading up to the horror part. Then the horror part,
there's lots of horror movies like that. Yeah, I'm like I said, it's just a thing that I've picked up on. I don't know if it's true or not. I just kind of keep hearing it.
I've heard somebody say that. I'm like, no.
Yeah. My favorite so far is The Ugly Stepsister. My favorite so far. So far. It's not a great list so far. I mean, it's a fine list. That's not overwhelming.
Yeah, I've had a lot of misses.
The Ugly Stepsister is Cinderella, but the horror movie.
I did think I saw a trailer for that movie. I didn't watch it yet.
Yeah.
It looked interesting.
It's interesting. That's maybe a better way of putting it. It's interesting. In the Rumorville, Yuri Lowenthal says the Persona 4 remake, which has been rumored for years now, he says it's real, and then goes on to say that he won't be returning to it as he's not welcomed. They don't want him back to voice.
They don't want Spider-Man?
Well, he's union, so.
Damn, that's
cool. Is that why?
They're still on strike.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They were like, "Fuck you, Spider-Man."
He said that well, I mean, then why would he say they don't want him? Because his tweet, I didn't write the exact words down. It's everywhere. It's a headline. People have probably seen it already. It's very specific. He's like, I begged, and they don't. Like, it's personal. I don't think it's a union thing. They don't want him. I think if the strike was not a strike, they still don't want him. Like, they don't want him.
Yeah, that's fair.
I have the quote. The quote from him is, "And for those who keep asking, no, I will not be returning as Yosuke for Persona 4 remake. I asked, maybe I even begged, but they don't want me to come back."
Do you know what my favorite thing is?
It's not like, hey, we're on strike now.
Announced. He should not have said this. This is not.
I think that's why he did it.
Yeah.
This is his swan song fuck off then. I think that's why he did it. Yeah. It's because it's probably getting announced next week.
From other projects.
Well, it's probably getting... No, he won't. I don't think that. Maybe in Japan. Maybe by a Japanese developer. I don't think that's something that's going to harm people, like, moving on. You know, like, it was... I wouldn't say it's his character. It's definitely their character. But, like, he was the voice. You know, like, I think a lot of voice actors would probably feel the same way. But maybe he was too expensive. I don't know. Who knows?
Probably.
But I imagine, like, I thought this game might be announced next week, and that's kind of what I think is happening. I do think he's kind of giving them the bird right before they go to announce their big announcement. We'll see. Maybe it won't be announced, but it's been in the rumor mill for a while.
Yeah.
We've been hearing about this thing for a couple of years now, so it sounds right. And they've been real buddy with Xbox lately. Maybe this is one of those like third-party Game Pass announcements.
Maybe.
Can see it. The Rude says, work had the Rude working overtime this week, so the Rude is tired. We all got the Elden Ring Night Ring score right, so the score is tied 1 for all. So we all start at 1.
We all start back.
Yay.
Delvin, you have the very few questions that we have.
All right, let's get to these questions then. From Indie Techno, can the Knicks make a comeback? No.
Nope.
Who is going to get Sinners on June 3rd digitally? Me. Is Dev going to be in line at 9 p.m. Pacific time June 4th to get us into? No, he's not.
No.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
They're
trying to blow my Cavs up. Everybody's in shambles.
Why?
So the sports fan, like even Jack's the next day Jack had trades. He's like, we're trading. I'm like, why are you trying to blow the whole damn team up? Like,
yeah,
you lost. He goes, he's like, we can't win with these players. I was like, you didn't win with them this year. That doesn't mean you can't win them next year or the year after. Like, let them play together. Damn.
The big three didn't win their first year.
How many times did the Celtics lose? They go 5 years in a row and lose before they broke through? Like, that's not how this works. I don't get it, dude. They want to fire the coach, fire the player, then get rid of Jared Allen, try to ship out Darius Garland. I'm like, damn.
No, let them play the way they are.
Here's the thing that I was telling my son today. I'd love to hear your thoughts. You know, my son's giving me all these reasons, like Darius is too short and he's not big enough, and he's giving me all the reasons why he thinks it doesn't work. And I go, hey. I was like, so I hear what you're trying to say. I know you want to change the team. I was like, but do you ever think that like change for change's sake isn't always the best idea? I said, listen, you could be a lot worse than we're going to go to the playoffs and compete for a title for the next 3 or 4 seasons. Like, it could be a lot worse than that. And he was like, that sounds like loser mentality. And I was just like,
you're a loser.
So I get like sports fans always want to win the title. I get it. But based on what the Cavs did this year and the young players that they have and that they're all under contract, I look at that team, it's like they are competing to win it. Like, they are in the mix. Maybe they're not the favorite, but like, do they have a chance? They are one of the few teams that have a chance.
Yes.
There's probably 6 to 8 teams that realistically have a chance of the title, and the Cavs are one of them.
Yeah.
And maybe they're not better than the Pacers. Who knows? Maybe they're not better than.
Maybe they are.
Maybe they are. Maybe next year they are.
Maybe this is the off season.
They were better than the Pacers last year. You know, like maybe the Pacers just played well. I was like, I looked at him and I said, is it possible that instead of them not being capable to win, is it possible they just lost to a better team this season?
Yeah.
I was like, why doesn't anybody ever just think that simple? It's like, man, they were better.
Well, sometimes teams get cold in the playoffs. It happens.
Correct. Everybody's trying to blow it up.
Yeah, people just blow up in the playoffs sometimes. Sometimes they just burn out. And
They're trying to trade Jared Allen to the Lakers. They're trying to send Darius Garland to the Minnesota. Like, what is going on?
Contrary to popular
I got no idea.
It's very hard to be the number 1 seed and continue with that same intensity throughout the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's not an easy thing to do.
And I was just like, I mean, it's like, I feel like the difference being that like he grew up in a level where the Cavs were competing for titles and they were like, I was like, he doesn't understand how bad it can be.
Yeah, he was there with LeBron.
Yeah, it's like, dude, it can
Very
be
different.
It can be way worse than this. Like, chill out.
was
Like,
there
this
with
is pretty
LeBron.
fun. The team
was
wins
there with-
lots of games. We got a chance. We're in it. Like, have fun. Enjoy it.
Yeah, you was there with LeBron. You were there with Brad Daughtry.
Correct.
Let's keep it a buck.
Hey, dude, he was dope.
He was.
I have no idea about any of this.
You got it, Haley.
All right. Our next question from Free to Play Joe. Excited for what the heck is this? SGF predictions? What is that?
Summer Games Fest.
Oh, Summer Games Fest. That's what they call it? FGF?
Yeah.
I don't think that's what they call. I think, but yeah, that's
That's what Free to Play
It's
Joe
the
calls it.
acronym.
He's
the
just making
acronym,
up
yeah.
shit.
People just
He's
shorten it to
making up shit.
SGF.
I think they just shorten it. Yeah, it's better than typing out
Listen.
Summer Games Fest.
Look here.
Yeah.
Look here.
E3 was better.
Your name is
Oh,
F2P
these
Joe.
Yeah, he
Spell it out
shortened his
for me.
own thing. Free to play show. Haley, since we talked basketball, you excited?
Yes, I'm very excited, but not really for SGF proper. I'm just excited for the Outer Worlds 2 showcase.
Okay.
I'm not.
Nice.
I'm not. I don't know what they're showing.
I'm actually.
My,
I want to say that we're going to see more of THPS 3+4. Maybe
That would make sense.
that is.
that'd be nice.
That would make sense.
UPS 3+4. I don't know.
Delvin, you're not excited for Summer Games Fest?
No.
Yeah.
My Summer Games Fest comes next week.
Correct.
It's called Nintendo Switch 2.
That is correct.
Yeah, again, I don't have one, so
The rest
Raven
of
did
that,
down.
I'm going to join you right on your answer. Like, I'm always excited for games, but you know, we've done this for years now, so this is beating a dead horse. I'm not really into the Summer Games Fest thing.
yeah.
So, and even with Xbox, with everything that they're kind of doing, like, I'm sure their show is going to be great because they've got so many studios and stuff, but it feels a lot more like an EA or Ubisoft show than it's like, I'll just see the games. I'll see the announcements when they're made.
I think the
Yeah.
Xbox show is
They'll
going to
pop
be where
up
they
on
announce,
Blue Sky and stuff.
yeah.
Starfield for PS5 is probably at the Xbox show.
At the Xbox show?
yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
Bill Spencer
So,
came out and
let's-
said they're doing that now in their shows. They're literally
let's
gonna
show you
do
our
that.
PS5 games.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the
I'm going to
Xbox
join you.
show.
Like, I'm not particularly planning to watch
Yeah.
the showcases. I
My
might
excitement
watch.
is Switch 2. That's
I'm
Summer
excited
Games
for
Fest.
announcements. Like, I need dates. When is
Yeah.
Mafia coming? When is Dying Light coming? Like, I'm interested. Is Hot Shots popping up? Like,
So
I need
the
dates.
Dying Light Discord did say that updates on Dying Light will be coming soon, and they just
I
had
figured.
community playtesters actually playing the game recently. So
Yeah. So I'm interested. Obviously, I'll be. You know, listen.
I get that
I'm
one
not
for
going to
free
be.
because I bought.
I
the
do want to
Ultimate
play it. I'm not doing any of these things. I have off next week, and I'm taking it off to play Switch 2. That's it.
Yep, that's
So
fair.
I'm not watching the showcases. I'm not live tweeting. I will see the announcements as Wario tweets them as they pop through our Discord. I'm sure I'll do it for the notes. I'll pull some notes together for the show, but that's it. I'm not partaking this year. I'm playing Switch 2. I took the time off to play, not podcast. So, but I need dates. I would like dates so I can line up the rest of my purchases for the year. And I will say this, with GTA out of the way, the fall is open. There's some space
Dude,
here for somebody to come in here and make some fucking money. Like,
I
somebody
was
put
so
some
worried
games out.
about having limited time for Borderlands 4 in the fall, but
Yeah,
100%
Borderlands is going to be eating
4
right now. Dying Light has
Man.
a good opportunity. If Dying Light
Light's
the Beast
supposed to be
is
this
good,
summer. Dying Light is supposed to be this
yeah,
summer.
but they haven't said anything about it in so long. Like, I feel like summer's, like, if you're releasing summer, you've kind of run out of time to announce the release, right?
Yeah.
You know, what are they going to do? Like, it's out next week? It's out next month? It's like,
It's probably going to come out in August.
I was going to say September, August. Like, that's still summer, I guess, to some people.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Like, there's a space here for some games to make some May. So I'm here for it. I'm interested to see the announcements, but I won't be watching the shows. I haven't liked any of the Keeley things. And then my other habit is that, like, all the other shows that we have now, we have like fucking 48 showcases. They're
Yeah,
all
like so
indie
many.
showcases, so it's just like the same indies or obscure. It's like, it's too much. We're just seeing too
Is
many games.
Devolver doing one again?
The last I saw, they tweeted that they were announcing some news, but I hadn't seen anything since then. So I imagine if they did it today and I missed it, maybe they announced the date. And then
I
if
still
not, maybe
love that GIF of Suda51. smells like
sounds
drama.
like some drama. If not today or tomorrow, tomorrow or the day after, maybe they'll announce a show. That'd probably be the one that I'd stop to watch. I'll watch Devolver if they're going to do something. I'll tune in. Is Ubisoft? Do they still do shows?
We don't actually know because all of their games got pushed. So
and if not canceled, they canceled a lot of unannounced games.
Yes, but Far Cry and whatnot is definitively still happening. It's just games
delayed.
been pushed, and we know there's at least 6 Assassin's Creed games in development.
So we used to have a Ubisoft showcase, an EA showcase, a Square Enix showcase, and all of that has been replaced with this version of indie devs, this version of indie devs with trees, indie devs with clouds, they all have like a little niche. So, but it's all the same. I won't say the same thing. That's being reductive, but it's overload. If you're showing people 900 indie games, I don't think we're actually doing the whole idea of like those indie things is we curate and lift up. Now we're just seeing everything. You might as well just go to Steam and scroll around. You're doing the same thing. So, I missed the EA show. It was a lot of fun. Delvin got up and left again. I'll take the next one. D-Live. Oh, God, this is the next one. I'm not going to pick this one because Haley wouldn't know anything. So I'll go to the next one. Robbie says, do you think we'll see a lot of Switch ports announced at Summer Games Fest?
Probably. Now that Switch 2 is about to be out in the wild.
Yeah, you would think.
Yeah.
I would agree. You got any that you're hopeful for?
Hopeful for? No, mainly because again, I'm not getting a Switch 2, but if I was gonna pick and choose games,
any that you would bet, any of your favorite games that you would like to see ported to Switch.
Sleeping Dogs would be good. I don't even know if that has a Switch Switch port.
No. Probably
not
be more
really.
recent than that.
Yeah. I don't really have anything. I'm sorry.
Delvin was talking to us in the Shack last week. He was asking about Xbox games. And I had mentioned that, I felt they've got, I would imagine, Gears could be announced for Switch.
Gears could go, yeah.
Forza, you think Sea of Thieves, Sea of Thieves is already over there. Was the other one that didn't. The one that I didn't think of, but I did hear about it on a YouTube show was Psychonauts. I didn't hear about it getting a Switch port, but I heard people talking about, we haven't heard anything from them in a little bit. And I was like, oh, and Psychonauts isn't on Switch. I could see that being ported. I could see the Psychonauts 2 coming over to Switch.
Yeah.
That wouldn't blow my mind. I would love to see. I don't know how much when it comes to ports from Xbox, I don't know how far back they're thinking. Do they have some old games they want to move over?
I'm kind of wondering if we're going to get Quantum Break pulled over to consoles because that would be cool. I know you're not the biggest fan of it, but
sure.
It's one that would make sense, especially as the Remedy connected universe goes on and on. At this point, I think they would be willing to just let Remedy use that because they had to work around it in Alan Wake 2, but they still had that character there, for example.
Yes, I'm operating into I don't think they'll pull from something that far back.
I mean,
think they want things
could also
current.
Sunset Overdrive, right?
I was thinking Oblivion. I could see Oblivion Switch port being announced.
That's fair, but that's going far back, right? I know they just remastered it. But
yeah, I was thinking
far back. That's 2008.
The other one I was kind of thinking about, I was kind of saving. I wanted Delvin. Oh, he's back. He just back. There you go. I was wondering, obviously they made the agreement when they bought Activision to bring Call of Duty to Switch. I don't think the new Call of Duty has been in development for Switch. Maybe that's incorrect, but I don't think it is. But I do wonder if we hear about an announcement for Switch. And I was thinking, would they do Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered? And maybe Remastered Warfare 1 and 2? Could they announce those games for Switch? A little older, a little smaller, right? But they get a port going on over there and then kind of make a splash. Call of Duty's on Switch 2. That's something.
What about Call of Duty Warzone on Switch 2?
I would be off. I could see it.
Just Warzone.
See, here's the problem: is that now they package Warzone in the games.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they just closed the mobile version.
Yeah.
So
my thing is,
I don't know.
they can say, hey, the regular Call of Duty titles are coming soon, and they can have them there, like all the ones listed.
But Warzone's coming this fall or something to hold you over.
So only
I can see it.
Warzone is here right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a service
But the other
game.
ones are coming eventually.
Not impossible. You can see it. That's where I was kind of going with the older ones, because you wouldn't have to worry about too much about multiplayer and stuff. You could just bring the campaigns over.
Yeah.
You know,
Just
and
the
I was
campaigns
thinking
in Warzone.
I was thinking file size. You know, like by Call of Duty standards, those are significantly smaller games. Not that they're going to put them on a cart, but even on Switch storage.
Yeah, that's going to take the whole Switch.
How much is, hang on.
Like 235 gigabytes or something like that. Might be more.
That's the new ones.
Yeah.
But those remasters, what were the file sizes on those? I don't think that one was nearly as big.
Yeah, I think, but to install that app that has the games, I think it's like huge.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the Call of Duty HQ app, which is required for Warzone. Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, it's like huge.
It's like 70 gigs at least.
Let's see here. Still trying to find a file size. I can't. I was gonna guess. I was gonna say I thought it was like around like 40 gigs, but I can't confirm that. So I don't know. Maybe stuff like that I could see Xbox doing, perhaps. I would love to know if any of these new games that I'm interested in are having Switch 2 ports. I'm looking squarely at you, Metal Gear Solid. I would love to buy Metal Gear Solid 3 on Switch 2 instead of PC. That'd be great. I would love to see if that's a Switch 2 game. You know, I want to say I don't expect Dying Light to be, but they did get Dying Light on Switch.
Yes,
yeah.
they did.
So like, I wouldn't be surprised if they were like, Dying Light the Beast is hitting Switch. Maybe it's later, right? Maybe it comes out in August, but the Switch 2 version comes out in November or something. Like,
to talk about the Summer's Games Fest thing, I think a lot of those things will probably be announced at Summer's Games Fest. Not necessarily like in big this, but they'll probably like, and it's coming to Switch 2.
Yeah.
Like PS5,
icons,
Xbox,
little trademarks and
Switch
stuff on the
2.
bottom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mafia would be cool. I would like any of the Mafia. We have no Mafia support on Switch, so any of those would be great.
The Mafia remaster for Mafia 1 was really good. So
It was really good. Yeah. I've loved those things. I would love to see ports of those. I would hope, maybe a false hope, but with what we've seen from the Switch and what its capabilities are in terms of, you know, like where you kind of put it power level, I would look at all of these companies and be like, you guys have a bunch of back compat shit you should be porting. You know, that's at this point, it sounds like easy money. Maybe that's incorrect because we are porting from x86 to ARMS. Maybe it's not that easy, but it seems like it. I mean, Final Fantasy is like, yeah, we got it up. Cyberpunk's like, we got the game running up in 2 months. That seems pretty damn easy, you know, by port standards. Like, it doesn't seem like it's that hard. These companies have got games for years. Delvin, you'd mentioned on Shaq, the Tomb Raider. Those games never came over. We're talking about all these games that we've played on PlayStation 4 and Xbox and stuff for years. None of that stuff came to Switch. That's an opportunity to resell those games again. People will buy them again.
Yes, they will.
Just because they're on the new system. They'll buy them again. The Mass Effect trilogy, like all that stuff. You know?
yeah.
Delvin, you walked away, so I didn't ask this question, so I'll ask it now that you're back. D-Life says, who are your top 5 NBA players ever? They don't have to be the best, just your favorites.
Okay, so
Haley, favorite NBA players.
Michael Jordan.
That's one.
Okay,
keep going.
Keep going.
You've
You've got this. We believe in you.
I don't remember his last name, but Ming.
Yao Ming. Nice. That's 2.
Let's see if she
Not a Canadian yet. I'm shocked.
Yes.
Shaq.
That's
3. You only got 2
3
more.
good picks.
That is 3 good
actually.
picks. That is 3 good picks.
Whatever his name is, Kawhi.
Kawhi.
Okay.
I don't know.
I love it.
That's 4.
You can put that next to my Wii Masters.
Those are 4 great picks, honestly.
I want the Kawhi edition. I want
sorry.
NBA 2K Kawhi edition.
You got one
That's
more.
all I
Him.
know. I'm sorry.
Pick one more. One more.
Steve Nash. Dylan
That's a good
Brooks.
one.
Magic Johnson? I don't know.
Ah,
That's a good one.
Magic.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
Good job. That's really good
That's
job.
a Hall of Fame class of picks.
Yeah. You did it. My top 5 NBA players is Shaq, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Allen Iverson, and Dwayne Wade.
Thanks. I struggled with this question a lot. I think more than maybe you guys would believe, because I'm not a players person.
Probably not as hard as I struggle.
Maybe you might be surprised. I'm not a players person, so I don't keep favorite players. My favorite players are my favorite players that played for my team. I'm a team person. Players come and go, right? But you root for the team. I root for the jersey. I know Dev and I have always disagreed on that. Dev is a players guy. He goes wherever the player goes. I'm not. I have a team that I root for. So when I think my favorites, not best, my favorites, I think of personality and achievements as Cavs. So I made my list, and they're all Cavs players. And my first one, I'm going to go in descending order. My first one was my first love. The one that got me into basketball, the one that got me as a young tyke, kindergartner coming through, Mark Price. Cavs legend.
That's a good one.
I think one of the more underappreciated players of his era. He was great. Mark Price was amazing. Those Cavs teams won. They went to the playoffs. And he is not nearly as remembered as a lot of dudes from that era. His name is forgotten about because the Cavs were in the shadow of Michael Jordan. The Bulls were great. Again, kind of like the Cavs now, they weren't good enough to win. Right? But that doesn't mean they weren't good. They were very good. And that team is kind of what got me loving basketball. I remember watching them on the TV when I was very young, my earliest memories. Mark Price was a dude. I believe the claim to fame is he's one of the few people that are in the 50-40-90 club. And I'm not sure if you guys know what that is, but the 50-40-90 club, there's only 10 or 12 players that have ever gotten it. He's one of them, and if you ever look it up, it's an exclusive club. We're talking Bird, Durant, it's a who's who of who's great. And in that season, Mark Price is one of them. He's a bad dude. He was a very good basketball player. And as a fan of a team, he's exactly the kind of player that fans get behind. He was tough. He played hard. He was clutch. I think Mark Price would have cleaned up. Also, D-Life says Mark Price was a beast, so he gets it.
He was.
So, Daniel, I'd love to know if you agree with me. You look at how the game is played today and how the game has moved with spacing and three-point shooting. You see players like Steve Nash and Chris Paul and Steph Curry. Mark Price would have fucking cleaned up today. He would have absolutely cleaned up today. We're talking about a different era of basketball. We're talking about early 90s, 80s basketball when this Mark Price guy, 6'0", had to go into the paint with legit monsters. 7-foot gigantic people. The game isn't played like that anymore. It's more of a space game, and Mark Price would murder today. He would have murdered. So he's first. I'm not going to do a whole story for everybody on the way down.
Hold up. Before you go on, I think we probably should clarify for people who don't know what the 50-40-90 club is.
Sure, yeah, please.
Yeah. It's an exclusive club that requires players to shoot at least 50% from the field, 40% from the three-point range, and 90% from the free throw line in a regular season.
For a season. Not a game, a season, a whole season.
And if people don't know this, that is a very hard stat to achieve. Yeah. Very hard.
So, he was a dude. My number 4 pick is Delonte West. A lot of it's charisma. Delonte was just a really great character and a very funny player to root for. Also, he came at a time, and this is something I was talking about Jack earlier, so this is why I kind of was telling those stories about the Cavs, because it's kind of on the brain today. Jack's wanting to trade everybody, and I told him, I was like, listen, go back and watch the Cavs' first run with LeBron. That's what they did. They fired coaches and traded everybody every season trying to win. And it never got them anywhere. And one of the few players, because every time we got to the playoffs, players would miss shots. It's hard playing next to LeBron. You have a lot of pressure. And, LeBron's a great passer, but a lot of times you get that ball in your hands and it's your job to make the shot, not LeBron's. Yeah. There were very few people that could live up to that pressure. A lot of people came through Cleveland. Larry Hughes and Wally Zerbiak and Ben Wallace and Antoine Jameson and Mo Williams and stuff. A lot of dudes came through that era. Delonte was one of the few that stuck and actually made those shots. He was like a fan's favorite. Dude played crazy defense, played up, would guard bigger people, dove for the ball, but was clutch. When he needed to make a shot, when you needed a shot to be made, Delonte was a good one to take it. Third was Big Z. He was like my first draft pick. We drafted him when I was little. I'm not little, but like right when I was coming into basketball. And like Price, Big Z was underappreciated. Big Z had crazy good touch as a passer and a shooter. And in today's game, where bigs are doing that shit, he would have been awesome. But back then, bigs were only supposed to rebound and layups and dunks. So he's somewhat miscast, but Big Z was great. Also, a 14-year Cav, played his whole career there, lived there. You know, that's important. Kyrie Irving's number 2. I have a personal connection with Kyrie. I've told the story a bunch. I was there when he got drafted. I won a contest. I sat with the owner. I got to see him. Kyrie Irving is the most gifted player I've ever seen play basketball. Just sheer ability. Kyrie Irving can do things that most people can't. It's crazy. And I don't mean just make a shot. There's lots of people that can make a shot. I mean things with a basketball. I've seen Kyrie go 1-on-4 and win.
Yes.
There aren't a lot of dudes that can do that.
The only reason why he doesn't get the credit he deserves because he was on a team with the greatest basketball player of this generation.
Yeah, just pure ability. Dude, that kid did crazy. Well, I don't want to sound hyperbolic, and then maybe if I haven't really thought this through, so maybe I could find somebody later. If he's not the best, he's definitely one of, but I think maybe the best under the basket player I've ever seen. Like what he can do with his left hand, right hand, spinning the ball off the boards, playing in traffic, playing with bigs. Kyrie was a monster. Kyrie's incredible. And then, of course, number 1's LeBron James. Hometown kid,
yes.
Did the whole thing, came to the Cavs, went through everything with that guy. Went through all the heartbreak, all the loss, the decision, the return, and finally capped off the championship as a storybook tale. He's one of the greatest players to ever play. He's an absolute beast, and we love him.
Yeah.
If you are wondering what my non-Cavs team would be, I put Kobe, Bird, Dream. I specifically put USA Melo. Captain Melo was awesome.
Yes, he was.
I'm sorry. You're good. No, you're good.
I also thought of Nash, Manu, Charles Barkley, Russell Westbrook.
All great players.
Yeah, super fun. Fan favorites. Our last question is, let's see here. Yep. Our last question comes from Indio Techno.
F, marry, kill.
Say. Oh, okay.
That I do.
That's what I needed. Marry, fuck, kill, PS5 Pro, Xbox Series X, Glitter Edition, and Switch 2.
Okay.
Didn't we have another question? I feel like we're missing a question.
We might be. I
check.
don't think we are.
Anyways, I can answer this question while you look. Marry PS5 Pro, fuck Switch 2, and kill Series X.
Fuck Switch 2? Why you saying fuck me?
All right. I'm going to marry the Switch 2, make passionate love to the PS5 Pro, and kill that glitter bullshit Xbox.
Probably do the same.
Yeah.
I found the question.
Okay.
Danny Not DeVito writes, foodie question for the show. I'm planning a wedding for October and I'm setting up the catering. In your opinion, what's the best kind of food for a wedding? Crowd pleasers like barbecue are good. That's a lot of people in nice clothes that would be in the Sweet Baby Ray's splash zone.
Chicken wings.
That's the same thing as the barbecue.
No, just regular chicken, fried chicken. Not barbecue chicken, but like straight up fried chicken is really good. Like small drumettes.
Sure.
People seem to like those a lot.
What's a drumette?
It's baby drums.
Yeah.
They're like smaller size drums.
Okay.
Not the normal size ones that you get at KFC.
That's a really interesting question. I don't think I've ever
Sorry,
thought about
I kind
trying
of
to plan a wedding.
Usually
kinda
wedding
zoned.
food is like a lot of finger food type stuff.
We're being asked, what's your favorite, like, he's planning a wedding. He's wondering, like, what food would you want at a wedding? Like, what do you think is a good menu for a wedding? You just say finger foods.
Usually that's what I see.
So
Finger
that's
foods.
exactly where my head goes. That's where
what
I'm
I've
thinking. I'm
seen at
thinking
weddings.
like little sandwiches, sliders, things you
Yes.
can pick up, usually eat in one bite or two, not
Yes.
lots of heavy things, not sauces.
Because you want to dance and stuff like that. And you want to get out there. Yeah. You don't want to
Keep it somewhat light, but like little smokies, but like little finger foods. That's exactly what I'm thinking. Maybe a little pasta salad, maybe a little salad.
Yeah, a little salad like pasta.
But you don't want the screeching of silverware.
Yes.
So you don't want cutting and grinding and forks and stuff. You don't want to hear all that.
Yeah.
You don't want like heavy sauce things. These are expensive clothes, tuxedos, dresses. You don't want anything like that. No soups, nothing liquidy, nothing's going to spill. Yeah, you don't want anything like that. Very
light
bland,
stuff. Very light.
Fingerific.
Delectable
Exactly.
good things.
Yeah.
Fruit salad, regular salad.
Yes. Rolls. Yeah.
Sometimes on a rare occasion, I see they want to get fancy. They have a chocolate fondue fountain.
Yeah.
People can get that type of stuff. But yeah,
I Googled it and somebody said a sushi bar. I would love a sushi bar.
that's a good one. That's a
That
really
sounds
good
ideal.
one. That
Can you
might
imagine
be perfect.
you have a sushi chef on that just makes sushi for people? That'd be
Make
crazy
sushi for
good.
you on it. That would be great. Yeah.
That'd be crazy. I ain't got it like that. But
No. You will get a bag of Doritos from me. A bunch of Doritos, dip. Yeah. Nah.
French onion dip,
French onion dip,
Fritos,
Fritos,
Chex
maybe,
mix.
some Vienna sausages.
How about like some little Debbie's in the wrapper? Like they're all placed out nicely,
just
but like they're
placed out
prepackaged.
nicely. Yeah, prepackaged. You ain't gotta worry about getting no germs. Just here you go.
That's hilarious. But yeah, things you can eat without silverware would be like what I would focus on.
I agree. You don't want nothing heavy anyway. 'Cause like I said, you're gonna be dancing. You're gonna be dancing. You're gonna be drinking. You don't want nothing heavy that's gonna make you fall asleep.
That's really what the food is for. It's for the alcohol.
Yeah.
So, what about like French fries? Is that too greasy? You don't want things that people on the
A
people's
little
hands.
bit, yeah. But you don't want it to be too much.
That's the problem with like chicken wings and barbecue. You don't want that stuff to be on people's hands.
But what if it's a dry rub chicken wing?
Yeah, I guess maybe.
Put
That's why I'm thinking like the sandwiches and stuff. The stuff you can grab and there's no problem.
Like
I'm just
a
going to
lemon,
obviously get weddings.
like a lemon pepper chicken wing or something like that, or salt and pepper. Or...
And she's speaking like a true Atlantan.
Yeah.
Yeah, lemon pepper wing. That's how weddings down here get down, Haley.
Dude, I love lemon pepper wings. They're so good.
There you go.
That's the whole city down here. They would rename the name of Lemon Pepper, Georgia. That's it. Those are the questions.
That's it. We made it.
We did.
Woo!
You want to sign us out?
Yeah. Thank you guys for listening. We're out. Peace.
Nobody's sleeping in the middle of the bed. The middle of the bed is only where you do the business. But when everybody's ready to sleep, it's the side of the bed that can't be beat. It's the middle of the bed where lovers meet. But when it comes time to slumber, it's the edges. Ooh, 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 the edges.